aspect of this game. Jim Wacker, of course, right now, he'd like to win a game. He hasn't beaten A&M for 16 years. I mean, TCU hasn't beaten for 16 years. First conference game. On the other hand, R.C. Slocum, this is his first year as a head coach. First game in the conference, and he certainly would like to establish the fact that he's an outstanding coach and they're going to win in the conference.
Well, because of the new coach and because of some changes at TCU, we got new looks tonight. And that brings us to the keys to winning. They may be a little confusing because things are going to have to be done both sides of the ball.
Well, from A&M's standpoint, they obviously would like to control the football so they can keep it away from that triple shoot. So to do that, they have to run the ball and get it in Lewis's hands a lot more than they have in the past couple of games. The other thing that they're going to have to do defensively, they're going to have to put some pressure on Giles at quarterback. You can't let a quarterback have all day to get the ball in the air. So pressure in the quarterback is another important key to A&M's aspect. Now, obviously, one of the big things when you're playing a team that can score is that A&M has to avoid turnovers and giving TCU a lot of chances at the ball. They rolled up 485 yards of offense last week.
Okay, now on the TCU side of the football, actually both offensively and defense, what about their key?
Well, one of the big things, the receivers have to catch the football. Last week, they dropped 11 balls. You can't move the ball when your receivers drop that. So the one big improvement is going to be after the receivers catching the football. Defensively, their defense must force some turnover. They've got to get the ball into that offensive end. Again, they can't allow the TCU team to hang on to the football all the time. And the last and most important thing, solid special teams. The kicking game wasn't too good last week. They really have to be solid, punting, field goals, and et cetera, special teams-wise.
Well, the Aggies are favored, but it's TCU's home opener in conference play. You stay with us. We'll have the lineup, the kickoff, and all the action from Amon Carter Stadium coming up.
Foreign substances are being introduced into your body on a daily basis. Over time, they can hurt your health. In the wrong amounts, they can increase your risk of heart disease. But you do have choices, and one is to change the way you eat. To learn how a low-fat, low-cholesterol diet can help you, contact the American Heart Association. Your life is in your hands.
East Africa is not where most American couples might settle. But most aren't like Peace Corps volunteers Anita and Jim Powell's. They're teaching fish farming in a race against hunger, helping people to survive today's problems and tomorrow's. There'll be fish in the ponds and protein in the diets. No matter what your skill, you don't know how much you have to offer until you offer it. Take home a world of experience and leave behind something that will last for generations. Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
Hi, I'm Jeff Claus from the Hills of Lakeway. Developing junior golfers is a top priority with Southern Texas professionals. Please see your professional soon.
Good tight end Blackwell as we get set for the 1st and 10. The ball at the 22-yard line. They give to Cedric Jackson, and he gets up to about the 25-yard line. John Cooper, one of the linebackers, Jeroy Robinson nearby. There's the defensive line for Texas A&M. Terry Price, Patrick Henry, Jason Black, and Kevin Tucker will split the time. Black little hampered tonight. Aaron Wallace, Cooper, Jeroy Robinson, William Thomas, the linebackers, and the deep backs. Second down, 6. Giles in the air, wide open, but dropped. Well, here's that problem again. The problem, Todd Holmes couldn't hold on to the football. He was open.
Yeah, the ball was a little bit to the side of him, though, Greg. That would have been a great catch if he'd come down with it. But you get good pressure. They're on top of you. The interesting thing about Giles, watch the quick release. Watch him release that ball right now. How quickly he gets away with it, even though Wallace is in his face.
Boy, he had to get rid of it. Third down at about 7. Ball at the 25. This one is complete for the first down. Todd Holmes. Holmes, the Glendora, California receiver, gains 23 on the play. And, you know, that's one of the trademarks of the run and shoot or the triple shoot. You have to keep throwing it.
Well, did a great job. A&M's playing zone coverage there, and he splits the seam to the zone. You see the safety coming across trying to get to the ball. He can't get to it because they're spread so wide. Very difficult to play zone coverage against receivers spread that wide.
3 receivers on the near side with the long setback, Cedric Jackson. It's first down, the ball at midfield. Jackson on a carry, and he's tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. Coming through from his defensive linebacker spot, William Thomas. Thomas is a quick linebacker. He's only 205 pounds, plays the outside. He's played some defensive back and earlier in his career. In fact, he was even a quarterback in high school. Used some speed there.
He's played well. He's had 17 tackles last week. Take a look at Thomas coming right up through there, knocking the blocker down, getting in to make the tackle. Just a great play by Thomas. He's had 25 tackles already this year.
Loss on the play of nearly 4. Second down. A shift based on what Giles saw with the defense. Second down and 14. A hard hit. The ball is loose. It is in play. The officials have not whistled it dead yet, and the Aggies have it. Jackson couldn't handle it on the hard hit. And there's the turnover, number 1. And the Aggies will have good field position at the 45. Let's take a look at it. Larry Horton, number 39, was near, but
look at that hit. Oh, look at the hit.
That was Mickey Washington.
Mickey Washington. I'm going to tell you what, Mickey Washington has arms like a fullback.
Here's the offensive lineup for the Aggies, led by their quarterback, Lance Pavlis. Pavlis has had a good start this year. His backs and receivers we'll take a look at in a moment as we get set for the first play. The ball is at the 46-yard line in TCU territory. Aggies have it for the first time. Lewis, the tailback. Nowhere to go. Robert McWright, the right corner, stayed right with the play. Here's the other running backs and receivers for the Aggies. Darren Lewis, Robert Wilson, 2 real fine running backs. Patterson and Waddle, the wide men. The offensive line, this is one of the biggest in the world. Matt McCall, Darren Groot, Mike Arthur, Mike Pappas, Richmond Webb, Mike Jones. These are big fellas. And the second down and 9. Wilson to the 40, and he's gang tackled. Let's take a look at some of those defenders that helped in on the gang tackle. Darrell Davis, Fred Washington, there's a big fella. John Marsh, who can play both offense and defense. He's in the defensive line tonight. Roosevelt Collins, the right end. The linebackers, Booker, Smith, Cobble, and the defensive backs. Brown, McWright, Crump, Conley. Third down, 5. Incomplete intended for Lewis. And it's fourth down for A&M. No score in the game, just underway in the first quarter. We got 11 minutes and 48 seconds to go. And it will be the Aggies' turn to turn the ball over. Try to push TCU deep in their own territory on this punt. Kevin Ellis, number 24, has won the punting job from Sean Wilson. And a single deep back. That's Charles Britton. It's short. He's going for the corner. Britton with a fair catch just for effects, but the ball goes out of bounds, and they're going to angle it out at about the 6-yard line. We'll be back with more action as the Horned Frogs take over after this timeout.
Steel. Muscle. It takes one to perfect the other. And nobody knows that better than Soloflex. Before you take your Soloflex through its workout stations, we put it through some of our own. We start with raw materials. Use force and resistance, knowledge and skill, effort and technique to create a strong, balanced, and functional work of art. All of which goes to show the way we build Soloflex is a lot like the way you use it. For a free brochure, call anytime.
The 35-yard punt out at about the 6-yard line puts TCU back in the hole deep in their own territory. No score. 11 minutes and 39 seconds to play here in the first quarter of play. Southwest Conference football, the opening conference game for both clubs. The Aggies, of course, are 1-1 with a big win over LSU and then a defeat last week to Washington, while Missouri took the measure of TCU. Ron Giles is the quarterback. He's going to change the formation now as he moves Cedric Jackson up. He has no direct running backs, and he's going to take it out himself. 5, a gain of about 7 yards. DeRoy Robinson, William Thomas, a couple of linebackers pinched him off after the game. Actually, they're going to give him a little more than that. They've got him up to about the, well, almost 15-yard line, so it'll be a gain of about 9. 2nd and 1. There is the head coach, R.C. Slocum, taking over at the end of last season. After Jackie Sherrill resigned, he is 1-1 as a head coach officially. They didn't get the first down as there was a little bit of spacing, it looked like, on the handoff. It kind of slowed up the timing.
Well, they needed short yardage. They tried to run inside, and A&M brought everybody right down through the inside gaps and stopped that play, maybe even for about a half-yard loss.
So it's 3rd down. Jim Wacker, the head coach here. This is his record. All told, he's got national championships in both NAIA and NCAA Division II. Trying to turn into a winner here in his 7th year. Gibb is on the pitch back, and it is the first down, and that's about it. Not much more than the first down. Well, they really dropped down Daryl Johnson. Kevin Smith got him. Daryl Johnson is one of a whole bunch of players that are going to be getting into the game that haven't seen a lot of action. Jim Wacker last week played 22 freshmen out of the 33 on the club. Be a lot of freshmen. These are real freshmen, not just redshirt freshmen. 1st down and 10. Pass is tipped and intercepted. Kevin Smith is run down inside the 10-yard line. Kevin Smith, the sophomore from West Orange Stark, picks it off. That's the 2nd turnover, 7-yard return. Let's take a look at it.
Well, he throws the ball behind him. You see him breaking to the inside. The ball is thrown behind him. He was way inside. Whether there was a misread, if he's anticipating breaking to the outside, they threw the ball right into Kevin Smith's hands. He took it down the sideline, just protected it. A&M now has great field position. Here's a look at it from another angle. See, it looks like he's anticipating. Well, the ball was tipped. The ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. That's what caused the interception and caused it to go to the outside. Someone got their hands up and tipped the ball.
All right, the Aggies now with super field position. The ball at about the 13-yard line. Lewis is plays to go. It'll be second down. You know, they're trying to break Lewis loose, but I think people forget that last year he finished the year with 10 straight 100-yard games. But the first 2 games, he had only a total of 40 yards. Of course, he missed 1 game with an injury.
Greg, it's just my observation in the first game that I saw him in so far tonight. He's not running with that slicing ability the way he ran last year. Looks like he's picking his holes a little bit more.
Well, he may get into it as he did last year. Second down and 9. Lewis again. Flag down. Trying to sweep right. Can't turn the corner. He's run out of bounds at about the 10, but there was a flag. It was a gain of really about 3 yards. And they're taking a look at where the ball is placed. Darrell Davis given partial credit for that, but it was a...
I don't think there's a flag. I think they just wiped the flag up, picked it up maybe.
Well, I see one down at about the 20. Let's see. They're going to pick it. They're going to pick it up. Let's see if it's going to be a penalty. I think you're right. Well, no, here he comes. Wiped it off. No flag. Well, Jim Wacker thought there should have been one, and then when the way they threw it, you're thinking of things like motion. But
motion is usually, it might have been, he called it in anticipation of being in an illegal formation, but it was a running play. I'm not sure what he called. He did pick it up, though.
So it doesn't matter, really. Third down. He needs 5 for the first. He's down to the 1, and touchdown. Touchdown, Mike Jones, who has been the story in the first 2 games. That's his 10th catch. And a touchdown for the Aggies. Just caught the corner of the end zone before going out.
Well, it's a good-looking Tavis coming back with 7 steps up, watches him all the way. When he delivers it, it gets there, and he just got into the end zone. Officials right on the flag there, the Python watch it. Watch him deliver to him quickly. He bullets it when he throws it. Right into the breadbasket. Gets into the end zone.
But there was a flag on the play, which we now pick up after the replay. I think he had an ineligible receiver. I only caught the end of his signal. It's third down. And they've got to get to the 3 for a first down. No touchdown. Now they got one.
Oh, Greg, that was a great throw. That was a great pass.
Wilson...
that was just a great pass.
Now
he laid that ball in there, and great concentration by Wilson to catch it, but you couldn't throw the ball any better than that.
There was a flag thrown as they returned toward the line of scrimmage, probably for a taunt or an unsportsmanlike activity. They're going to write somebody's number down, looks like here.
That's a dead ball. The touchdown will stand, though.
They get penalized. They could actually have it here if they want it on the extra point.
Or on the kickoff.
Yeah, either one.
The option of taking it here or giving it on the kickoff.
And, of course, the option in college and high school ball is because you have the option of going for 2 points. And if you...
And Washington's trying to look over the sideline to get some help from the coaches, what they want to take. Now the coaches are finally realizing that he wanted some information from them. And he already made his decision. Now I think he's trying to tell the official.
Well, I think, you know, at this stage of the game, wouldn't you think you go ahead and take it on the kickoff because so he kicked it 5 yards farther back. You know, it depends on what kind of a penalty it was. It may have been a 15-yard penalty.
Well, Washington is now trying to tell the official he wanted.
Yeah, they'll take it now because it is 15 yards for unsportsmanlike. That's right. That was the call. So it does make a difference on the extra point. They're going to have to kick them at 25, which means it's a 35-yard extra point.
Correct. But usually coaches are always signaling right away what they want, and I don't think Jim realized right away. He was talking to his coaches about what they did. He got it.
So, with the extra point good, it's the Aggies 7, TCU nothing. We'll be back at Amon Carter Stadium in a moment.
I was going to take a job with an engineering firm in New York. I got a better offer. I'm building schools overseas with the Peace Corps. The pace is a little slower than New York, but here I'm getting grassroots experience I couldn't get anywhere else. The way I look at it, the world can wait 2 years for another 40-story smoked glass high-rise.
Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
Some people say the press goes too far sometimes.
Not the meeting, sir.
Sorry, I don't think it's appropriate to comment at this time. Had they stopped here, you may never have known about Watergate.
No comment. Please, no comment.
Or here, you may never have known if an issue concerned you.
The committee approved all.
Now you say the committee was involved, sir.
No, to protect your right to be informed.
I have nothing more to say.
How far should the press go? To learn more about the free press, contact the First Amendment Center.
I'm Bill Keys of Tapatio Springs. As a Southern Texas golf professional, one of my jobs is to help your group plan its next golf outing. See your Southern Texas pro.
Pavlis had to do it twice. And he got the
Great
touchdown.
pass and a great catch by Wilson with great concentration. Not bad coverage. Defensive man did not see the football, but Wilson still had to concentrate and catch it in the end zone. And the penalty came after this. As Wilson was going across there, there's another angle. You see him looking over the defensive back and comes right down with it in his hands. Just a great pass and great catch by Robert Wilson. He's a big threat for a fullback.
Well, we're getting set for the kickoff. Couple of turnovers have hurt TCU now. That's hurt them with points. And it's a low kick toward the corner, and it'll go into the end zone. Touchback back out to the 20. And TCU will have the ball at that point at the 20-yard line, first down. Scoring drive wasn't a very long one because of the turnover, which gave the ball to the Aggies. But they took advantage of mistakes, and that's what you've got to do if you're going to win some games. 7-0 is the result. They went from that 3 over to the 20 and further in. Have a little graphics problem, but basically it was a short drive. It was a short drive. They're the real numbers. Only 13 yards.
Yeah, they had to overcome the penalty also. They had that touchdown called back.
Yeah, he had to throw 2 touchdown passes. Don't have the right people in the lineup. They had no tight end. They wanted Kelly Blackwell in, and that fouls things up, so TCU has to call timeout. This has got to be one of the major problems with running a triple anything, a triple shoot or triple anything, because you've got so many formations to deal with. You're running veers, and then sometimes you're running run and shoots, and you got the right guys in the game. HSE's football schedule is packed this fall. Over the next few weeks, you'll see many outstanding games from around the nation. Our next Southwest Conference telecast will be coming your way Saturday, October 7th at 10:30. That's delayed as the Baylor Bears travel to the Astrodome to face the Houston Cougars. What about that one, Ed Biles? The Houston Cougars and the Baylor Bears. Bears losing today. They've had a tough non-conference schedule, but they've got some talent. Houston, well, they really have yet to be truly tested.
I think it'll be an outstanding football game. Houston, of course, with their wide-open offense. And the Bears, everyone is expecting them to have a good football team this year. Now, they opened up with 2 tough opponents. That's tough to do when you play teams like that. You're going to lose some of those kind of games. Playing Georgia over in those hedges, they don't lose too often there.
First down, 10 yards to go with 7-0 Texas A&M. The ball is in TCU's hands. Giles completes the ball to about the 22-yard line. A very short gain there. Kevin Smith making the stop on the receiver, Darrell Johnson, who has seen considerable action here in the first quarter. Boy, and he wearing, I think Jared Delaney wore number 3 here until this year, and Jared was quite a receiver, but he was playing at the time in an offense that didn't throw the ball much. Wide to the top of the screen is Alan Foray. He's the widest wide out. It's second down and about 8. Incomplete again, intended for Johnson. It'll be third down.
The receiver was open on this pass. You'll see we got a good end zone shot. He is open as he comes down through that, and you see him right there. And it's just a bad pass by Giles. He overthrows it there, maybe feeling a little bit of pressure. And you've got to hit those receivers when they're open like that in a ball game of this type. So the receivers are looking a little bit now. A&M is really tattooing them after they miss the ball or catch the ball.
Little dump-off pass. It is complete to Jackson. Jackson breaks forward across to the 35-yard line and a first down.
That was a well-designed screen, Greg. They did a good job setting that screen pass up, but those linemen drift right out there and got behind him, and then used them well to pick up the first down.
Larry Horton making the stop after 13 yards and a first down. Foray comes wide to the near side. Wide to the top of the screen is Cedric Dickens, who is, like Darrell Johnson, a true freshman. Fumble. And a big loss on the play, back to the 22. Giles falls on the ball, but a major loss.
Well, I think he was looking for the draw play, and I think the back that was in there went the wrong way. I think he's coming out looking for the draw, and now the back is already going behind him. So he's looking, they just lucked the handle on the ball.
Their spacing on a couple of handoffs has been a little wide. That was another one. Looked like he may have lost control as he got ready to slide it over.
I think he felt like Jackson might just a little bit away from where he wanted to be. Maybe anticipated to be on the other side.
They're on the 24. They've got to get to the 45 for a first down. This is second down. Here comes the split. Aaron Wallace. The linebacker from Dallas Roosevelt blasted forth from his spot. There is a flag down at about the 19, it looks like.
I think it's going to be holding against TCU. Whoever's holding wasn't holding very well with that kind of pressure.
Didn't hold the right guy.
Well, you see Wallace come from the top of the screen all alone. Nobody touches him. Nobody reaches out to pick him up. They brought the inside backer, and there wasn't a remaining back. They took the back out of the backfield. Now, obviously, from that first scene, you can see that A&M's adjustments are going to bring both backers when TCU takes that back out of the backfield. Aaron Wallace gets a sack. That gives him 35.5 for his career. He only needs 2 more to hold the record. Jacob Green now holds him with 37 sacks.
Third down, 26. Jackson drops it, probably wisely, as he was about to get hit by William Thomas, and it will be TCU's turn to kick it away pretty deep in their own territory. The Aggies are going to get good field position if they handle the punt.
Well, right now, Greg, A&M's defensive line is just dominating that. You know, basically, you got a young offensive line for TCU. They've got a freshman redshirt in there at center, 3 juniors in that offensive line, and A&M's defensive line is dominating them.
Shane Garrett, number 80, is back to return the punt. He is standing at the 45-yard line in his own territory. At midfield. To the 44-yard line on the TCU side of the field. This telecast is brought to you under rights granted to Home Sports Entertainment and is intended solely for the non-commercial use of our viewing audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of HSE is prohibited. The announcers for this telecast are selected and employed by Home Sports Entertainment. As dusk falls and night moves in, the Aggies have the ball and Padlet says, hello! Fred Washington, I believe, number 47. Wow, Fred coming in from his defensive tackle spot, circling as a linebacker might.
I'll give the TCU secondary a lot of credit on that. A&M went the 3 wide receivers to one side. He's looking downfield. Nobody's open. They're covered. Now Washington gets there and puts it on him.
As you notice, Darren Groot just kind of touched him, and Darren weighs 330 and Fred 285, and he used the agility to get around him.
Yeah, Fred runs a 4.8. He's quick.
Second down. Pavlis, play action, roll right. Straight pattern, wide open. Caught on a deflection and out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Percy Waddle.
Greg, a lot of time luck is important in the game. Jones really got in the way of that pattern. It was a busted pattern. Jones kept drifting and drifting back into it, and Pavlis really didn't get enough on the ball, as wide open as it was, but it was tipped into their hands. You see Jones keep drifting on down into Waddle's area. See, Jones, he thinks he's throwing to him, and he really was trying to throw. The ball was tipped there, right into Waddle's hands, and he takes it down to the 1-yard line.
48-yard play, and they're down on the 1, first and goal. Aggies lead at 7-0, and the door is open. Lewis is held in check at the line of scrimmage. Pavlis has now completed 2 of 3 for 60. Well, that's mixing them up. R.C. Slocum said they would throw more daring patterns probably tonight to help open up the running game instead of the safe stuff, which is just a variation of a run. They've thrown it downfield, although that last play was kind of made it up on the sideline. 5.5 minutes to go in the half. No gain again as the interior defense by TCU stacks up Wilson.
Well, that was a counter pass that got him down there, and as Pavlis rolled out to his right, Waddle went straight down the field deep. Jones was coming across the field into the kind of the intermediate area, and then when he got outside the containment, Jones just continued to drift on downfield. Big third down play here for TCU.
They want to make the Aggies kick. Oh, flag. Motion in the line. You know, this TCU defense was very efficient last week. They allowed only 58 yards rushing in their loss to Missouri. And the reason that's significant, Ed, is that you figure the winning team is going to somewhere along the line try to eat the clock. They didn't allow them to eat it on the ground.
Exactly right.
That one, yeah.
Of course, if they're going to put the ball in the air, they may just need this extra 5 yards, give their receivers a little more room to operate in down there.
Third down, ball back on the 8. Take it to 7. 4:44 to go in the first half. Aggies lead at 7-0. Deep in TCU territory. Pavlis looks to throw. Then a run. He's got a hole up the middle, and he stopped at the 4. It's 4th down. Darrell Davis, the left end, on the defense, making that stop as he closed that gap. Pavlis has a good arm, but he has never been confused with a sprinter's speed.
Well, they were well covered down there. Wasn't anybody open. He seemed coming. I think he's looking for Jones. You see Jones covered down in there. Now it's too late. He knows the protection is broken down. It's about all he can do.
Lane Talbot will try the field goal. Ball spotted at the 12. It is up good, and it is a 10-0 lead on the 22-yard field goal by Lane Talbot. And the Aggies lead it, taking advantage of good field position to roar in for a couple of scores here in the first half.
Well, they hit the ball 3 times, and all 3 times they started in TCU's territory. That makes it a little bit easier for that offense and puts a lot of pressure on TCU's defense.
R.C. Slocum, as we said before, the head coach, had a big victory in his opening game against LSU because the Aggies have had trouble winning opening games. And LSU was expected to be a pretty strong foe. Let's take a look at the big play that set up the touchdown, or the extra set up rather the field goal.
Well, Jones is right down there. It comes right off his fingertips into Waddle's hands, and he takes it down to the 1-yard line. But from TCU's standpoint, pretty good holding this to a field goal.
Yeah,
that offense can score. They're going to put some points on the board, probably.
That puts a good point in the fact that A&M really should be kicking themselves for only getting 3 points out of a situation like that. Remains to be seen if it is a turning point or not, but right now the Aggies have the 10 points on the scoreboard.
Well, TCU has had people open. Giles has got to settle down, and receivers kind of forget about some of these hits they've had. If they settle down, they're going to move the ball. They've had some openings in that zone. A&M playing a little bit more zone coverage than what we might have anticipated. And they can find some seams in there and they'll catch some passes.
The kick will come down to Britton at the 2. He's got a little bit of a lay on the outside. He struggles down to about the 26-yard line. And that's where TCU will put the ball in play. Derek Ritchie coming up to make the stop. 24-yard return. And the drive, again, there's what Ed was talking about before. They got the ball on the 39. Actually, they got it.
They got it on the 2-yard line. They lost some yardage.
Well, after the pass play, they started the drive farther out than that, though. And they ended up losing some yardage, but they didn't have to go very far for points. Here's Jackson. Well, he gave a little shoulder and then tried to cut inside, but couldn't make the move. And Jeroy Robinson, the linebacker, number 97, made the stop on Cedric. Cedric is a senior, 6 foot, 233-pounder. Second down and about 8. One thing you've already noted, if you're trying to compare the triple shoot with the run and shoot, is they've already run the ball a lot more than a true run and shoot would do. And he's back up to about the 31-yard line. A pickup of maybe 2. It'll be third down and just about 5.
Well, what's happened a little bit here right now, though, Greg, is that big sack that Wallace made on the previous series has gotten TCU a little bit concerned. They now have brought one of those receivers in so that the linebacker has to line up over the top of him. Now, that will reduce some of their effectiveness from a passing standpoint. They only had 2 receivers out on that pattern, and now you're losing your effectiveness of your run and shoot.
Time and score you saw in the first half. They got 2 receivers, tight end on the near side. He's out for the pass. The pass up the middle is behind the intended receiver and incomplete. That was intended for Tommy Palmer, but he couldn't handle the pass. Was a little bit behind him, and it's 4th down.
Well, Giles is just having a little trouble right now. They've got to settle down. This is a football team that might be a little bit pumped too high. They want to win this one so badly, and they're making mistakes because they're trying to execute and do things too quickly. That time he had more time than what he anticipated, and the receiver was wide open. And that was behind him.
That was a matter of execution. He's 4 out of 9 for 39 yards, and kick is a high one, and a fair catch by Garrett at about the 33. So Texas A&M will have to start at their own 33-yard line with 2:25 to go, leading 10-0. We're in the first half. You'd have to say that the goal of Southwest Conference football teams each year is to get to the Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic, which symbolizes the SWC championship. And through the years, there have been many exciting games. In 1965, Frank Broyles' Razorbacks defeated the Nebraska Cornhuskers 10-7. The Razorbacks finished number 2 in the country. Well, each week, HSE presents Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic highlights Wednesday nights at 10:30, plus Saturday mornings at 10:30. Wednesday night show will look back at the 1965 game, the one we talked about, the Razorbacks and the Cornhuskers. That's Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic highlights twice each week on HSE.
That's a good shot of the Aggie band there. Nice crowd here this evening.
Stadium seats 46,000. It is not full, but it is a good crowd, very good crowd. As the Horned Frogs open the home season. First down. Pavlis play action. And he has nowhere to go except down. A loss on the play. Looked like John Marsh was in on that tackle. John, number 62. He's playing in place of Buddy Wyatt on the defensive line. Wyatt injured last week. And Marsh has played both sides of the ball for TCU, not only this year. Well, actually, last week he played both sides of the ball. They moved him in at that defensive tackle spot. Second down and about 15. A&M with twice as many yards. Wilson had to veer off as he got to about the 33, the original line of scrimmage, a pickup of about 5 on the play, and that's as far as he could get.
Well, Wilson's a 6'1", 245-pounder. That was a draw play. Looking for, he had 4 receivers in there. They were split out real wide, trying to get an opening up there and make some yardage off of it. But now they wind up with 3rd and 10 and don't put the ball back up in the air again.
Two wideouts to the top of your screen. Pavlis has time to unload. It's tipped and incomplete. Oliver was the intended receiver, and that's the most dangerous pass in football if you're an offensive player. Normally, the tipped pass. I say normally because the Aggies got in a scoring position thanks to a tipped pass earlier, but they'll have to kick it away this time.
Well, they're throwing, all their patterns seem to be designed right now that they're trying to get the ball downfield 18, 20, 25, 30 yards. They're really throwing the ball long. And there's a little he's just, the fact you can see Osgood over there talking to Pavlis about maybe speeding up his delivery a little bit and getting rid of that ball a little bit quicker.
Ellis has one punt for 34 yards, and he'll be getting this one away from about the 22-yard line. And Britton is going to watch watch it go toward the sideline and out of bounds inside just about the 31-yard line. TCU will put the ball in play at their own 31. They'll try it again.
Well, they've got pretty good field position. That's the first time that the Aggies had to punt this evening.
That's all the time left in the first half, an 18-yard punt. I should say the first quarter. But an 18-yard punt.
Well, both teams have had the ball 4 times, so it seems like it should be halftime. That's an 8 series in
it
one
must seem,
quarter.
I was going to say it must seem like that to me, because I know I said that now that I think about it a couple times at least. I was ready for the band to come out. Texas A&M 10, TCU nothing. 54 seconds left in the first period.
Well, I think it's extremely important that the TCU offense just settles down. If they can just start making some first downs and picking up, then things will open up for them. Again, the Aggies are playing a lot of zone coverage, and the run and shoot could be able to find some openings in zone.
Cedric Jackson is the lone running back, and he'll take it on the draw, and down he goes. Terry Price, number 88, from his defensive end spot out of Plano High School. 3-year Letterman Jr. grabbed him as he tried to pick up some steam, but he lost about 3 yards.
Well, Price, 6'5", 272-pounder. He was a state shot put champion back in I think back about 86. He was a state shot put champion. And just as I said, they're playing a lot of zone coverage. That time they had a blitz going.
Hey, you got to mix it up. Second down, and they have it officially on the board as 13. It's a long 13. And a flag. Well, Horton ran into number 32, Tommy Palmer, and a flag thrown.
Well, it's interesting enough. The official that was way deep did not throw the flag, because I think he felt like both the offensive man ran into the defensive man. The outside official came up with the call.
And it is against the defense. It's
going to be interesting. Let's see the picture of it down here. See, the defensive man, the offensive player just ran into him, and the official was right down the middle. I think saw it that way. The side official maybe didn't have a good look at that particular call.
Well, it's a first down.
And you see what's happening, Greg? Because of Wallace's blitzing, TCU now is winding up with, even though they've got wide receivers, they've got them winded up in there tight with just 2 receivers on the outside.
That's 40 yards in penalties on 5 different penalties. There's a slant run to the right side that gets across the line of scrimmage, the original line up to about the 41-yard line. Not much gain on the play. Terry Price making the stop.
And if they continue to do that, they're going to take away some of their effectiveness of their run and shoot, their triple shoot.
Modkins with his first carry. And that's the end of the first quarter to play. The Aggies 10, the Horned Frogs nothing. Second quarter action coming up from Amon Carter Stadium after we pause for these messages.
Scout Tommy Mansky has made some startling discoveries.
But the stride basically...
Teaching the Mechanics of the Major League Swing is an exciting new video program by which aspiring young players and coaches can join actual training classes at Central Florida's highly acclaimed indoor training center, Baseball World.
Rotate
through these revolutionary new drills designed by Scouty Mansky and his diligent study of the Major League Swing, you too will be able to isolate the components common to the accomplished Major League hitter.
We have to start with our back.
Teaching the mechanics of the Major League Swing is simple and straightforward, and it works for all ages and ability levels.
Hi, I'm Glenn Davis. I'm so impressed with this teaching video by Tommy Mansky that I've given it my complete endorsement. And when you watch it, you'll know why.
Call toll-free now, 1-800-833-1551 to order your video cassette of Teaching the Mechanics of the Major League Swing. That's 1-800-833-1551.
Some of the crowd here at Amon Carter Stadium watching Texas A&M lead 10-0. Of course, one of the factors, if you can see in the distance in the crowd, there are a lot of Aggies swaying. There are a lot of Aggie fans here tonight. As well as the band.
Yeah, it might be a 50-50 crowd here tonight. There may be as many Aggies as there are TCU Frogs fans here.
Of course, TCU has just 7,000 students, and Texas A&M, huge, at least over the last 20 years.
Not on the possession there.
A couple minutes difference in the first quarter. And a major gain up inside Aggie territory to the 48-yard line. Modkins again on the carry. That's 2 carries in a row. There's a TCU Hog friend.
That was a good call. That was that screen again. You see him going out here. This is a screen setting up. See the lineman releasing down the line of scrimmage there? The screen is after he gets it off just in time. Picks up a couple little blocks downfield there. Mike Sullivan's down in there. Jody Morse is down there. And they pick up the first down.
Got enough for the first down at the 48. Giles is buried. Give credit to William Thomas, who got him around the ankle. That spun him around, and then he got some help from his buddies. Big loss on the play, back from the 48-yard line down to about the 43.
Well, the way A&M is coming, they're not going to be able to complete many long passes, but they can keep those little dink passes and those quick screens, some quick outs, things of that nature, and they'll pick up yardage.
Second down, 18. No backs in the backfield. Modkins in motion.
Automatic blitz from the top of the screen. There they come.
He got rid of the ball. It's dropped. It was intended for Palmer, but he couldn't hold it. And he had to make that a quick play because of that automatic blitz.
Greg, every time that they take that back out of the backfield and no remaining backs in there, you can see that you see them all on top of him. What they're doing is they're bringing the outside backer and the inside backer to that split side, and the numbers just aren't right there. That's all could have been caught.
Well, from that first angle, I have to say we count that as a drop.
See it right there. Now, he gets it off. The ball has to be caught. Remember we talked about the receivers having to catch the ball? But again, that's a very catchable ball. You have to make those catches.
Third down, 18. That's a surprise. Incomplete. Almost picked off by an interior lineman. Who was it that got his hands on that? That was Patrick Henry. Give him liberty.
Give him liberty.
But he couldn't hold on to it.
Hey, the freshman red shirt from Silsby. Watch this. There's what happened. Jody Morse is doing a good job blocking on him. He happens to be in the right place. He's being blocked. The ball almost winds up in his hand.
And then they almost deflected it off of Jody Morse, who could have tried to catch it after it was deflected. Fourth down. So Rex Roberts gets the punt away. Roberts punting this time, and the ball down to the 18. And there's Garrett up to the 30-yard line. The Aggies will have the ball.
There by number 44, Greg Moore.
Y'all talk about Patrick Henry not giving me liberty. Old Patrick was a student body president his senior year over there at Silsby, see?
He knows all about that stuff.
Adjustments he's making now, that's the offensive coach down there talking about the fact when we've got to make a slide call. What he is saying is that tackle's got to slide out, pick up the linebacker, the guard's got to take the defensive end, the center has to take the other linebacker. The line just has to slide to the open side. Every offensive lineman to slide in the case of that particular last play to the right. The center or someone has to make that audible call to counteract what A&M is doing.
Bob Griffin, the offensive coordinator, Rob DeBest, Noel Mazzoni, Charles Williams, the rest of the offensive coaches as the Aggies put the ball in play for the first time, and Robert Wilson.
Mike Sherman, the offensive line coach, but that's the adjustment now that they're trying to counteract. That's a chess game that goes on during the course of the football game between the opposite sideline coaches.
Wilson will leave the lineup. And a lone running back is Lewis. And he'll get the ball. But he won't get much yardage. He's up to the 32. That was about at the line of scrimmage. Third down.
One of the things to have a good running game, your tight end has to do a good job of blocking. So far this year, that's maybe the one area that they haven't replaced on the A&M offensive football team. Mike Jones is a good receiver. I don't know quite whether his blocking is up to making a good running. If that tight end didn't do a good job blocking, very hard to get it back like Lewis up through that line.
A holding call on the defense.
On the running play. Tough call.
Well, it is a tough call, but in one regard, even though it's a running play, you try to control some of these offensive linemen the Aggies have, and we're talking about a meat wagon here.
Yeah,
we're talking about heavy dudes.
That's usually a holding call. It's usually against maybe one of the linebackers or the outside cornerbacks against the wide receivers. You usually see that. Maybe defensive holding, usually on a pass play, more so on a running play.
Well, it wasn't on this particular case. It is first down. There's a straight run up the middle. Wilson back in. Lewis now has a lead blocker, but still nowhere to go as he tried the left side over Webb and Pappas and got little, and it'll be second down and about 8. Penalty has been their best offense. Just a moment ago, before this series began, the Aggies had just 7 yards rushing, and TCU was minus 11, so the ground attack has been non-existent. Second down, 8. 12:28 to go in the first half. One penalty for 10 yards is all that's been. Oh, incomplete. Receiver, as he tried to make his cut, slipped. Lewis was the intended receiver, and it'll be third and about 8. 10-0 is the score. The Aggies lead TCU. We've got 12:20 to go in the first half.
And I would say at this stage, Bob Toledo, the offensive coordinator for A&M, is have to be a little bit concerned about the inconsistency of them moving the football.
Fabulous numbers. Yeah, that didn't fool anybody as Wilson is dropped immediately. Fred Washington, number 47, led the way, got some quick help, and it's fourth down. And Wacker is pumped. Well, he ought to be pumped. His defense has been doing a great job.
Trying to get some of that enthusiasm to rub off to the offense, but the offense just needs to settle down.
Kevin Ellis will punt. And before they put the ball in play at about the 28-yard line, we will take a timeout. Scoreboard reading shows the Aggies 10, TCU nothing on HSE.
Now get that picture-perfect look with Benjamin Moore Regal paints. Regal Wall Satin for a beautiful flat finish. Regal Aqua Velvet for a slightly higher sheen. And Regal Aqua Glow, a glossier paint. All three are washable, durable, and spatter-resistant. Benjamin Moore Regal paints for that picture-perfect look.
See your independent Benjamin Moore paint dealer.
When did you enter active service?
It looks so simple and easy. But when you apply for benefits from the Veterans Administration, the process can be challenging and overwhelming. The Paralyzed Veterans of America can help you cut through the paperwork puzzle and help you realize all the benefits to which you still may be entitled.
And where did you enter service?
Call the Paralyzed Veterans of America today. Their professional services are available free of charge.
American Heart Association. We're fighting for your life.
I hope they never stop fighting.
10-0 A&M over TCU. TCU will try again as they put the ball in play on their own 28. First down. Giles short drop. completed, but not very far to Michael Jackson, as Jackson gets it across the 30 to maybe the 32. Pickup of perhaps 3. Jeroy Robinson, the linebacker, came in on the stop. Yeah, they'll give him 4. Second down. Foray is the wide receiver farthest out to the top of the screen. And now the 2 Jacksons shift, and there are no running backs directly behind Giles. Jackson is hit immediately and dumped. As he took the pass, he was dropped by Deion Snow, number 2. It's third down and perhaps 2.
Well, you can see he has to get the ball out there quick because of the pressure. He's just to the outside, and A&M sitting there in zone coverage, and of course, all they got to do is come up and make the tackle, and they want to punish those receivers when they do that, hoping that they'll drop 1 or 2 of them somewhere along the line.
Todd Holmes and Foray wide to the bottom of the screen on 3rd and 1. Jackson, the running back, moves up closer to the line.
Same quick pass.
Flag. Wonder if the 25-second clock
25-second count expired. That's exactly. But when he moved up like it, they wanted to throw that same quick pass to just pick up the 3 yards that they've thrown on 2 previous plays.
Yeah, they're going to have a third down, but now it's going to be about 6.
Well, Giles was audible, and he tried to get his people to move around a little bit, and he just used too much time up doing that.
Lloyd Dale is our referee. Joe Darden, James Wilson, Roger Rogers, John Bible, Mike Wetzel, Larry Weeks. The rest are our officials. And something new in college football this year, they have their job, basically, on their shirt. The big R is on the back of the referee. Pass is thrown a little bit behind the intended receiver. Incomplete. It'll be 4th down. As Horton was there defensively, but really Tommy Palmer was in the vicinity too, but the pass was not on target.
Horton's a good athlete. He was a good running back for him last year. Gained over 400 yards rushing, but RC wanted him on that defensive side of the ball.
Those defensive coaches guys who have made a living as a defensive coach will tend to defend their old positions.
Well, they can recognize good athletes.
Spoken from an old defensive coach. There's the punt. A lot of pressure on the punt. I'm not sure if I see a flag or just a towel down. Catch taken at about the 25. I guess that's a towel. It's not yellow. So we'll put the ball in play on the 25-yard line. That's where the Aggies will have it. 43-yard punt. Well, this is the first of several games to be originated on Home Sports Entertainment. We'll have a 5-game package of Southland Conference games with 4 of them live. Live games, 7 o'clock, September 30th, Northwestern State versus Southwest Texas State. Also, October 14th, Stephen F. Austin takes on North Texas. And at 7 o'clock, October 21st, Northeast Louisiana versus Northwestern State. We'll have a delayed game, intra-conference battle between North Texas State and SMU on October 28th, and a live battle on November 11th, McNeese State versus Sam Houston State. Realize that last year, the Southland Conference landed 3 teams in the 16-team division, 1 AA postseason playoff. This season, North Texas is ranked high, and some others are certainly contenders as well. We'll have those games for you coming up on HSE. It is first down. Pavlis has the handoff to Wilson, and he gets across the 30 to about the 32. He's stacked up by the center of the defense, and a good gain on the play of about 7.
Well, they went to a 2 tight end offense that time, Greg. A&M has both Mike Jones and Brian Ross in there, and doing that, they may want to try to run the ball inside and use those big... Well, that Horn Frog just kind of laying out, relaxing, enjoying the football game.
I think most reptiles like to hang out on the concrete, don't they?
Cooler.
No sun tonight, though. Change in the backfield, and very short gain for Randy Simmons, who actually maybe no gain, maybe lost about a half yard. Randy Simmons is in at running back. Simmons is a 237-pound sophomore out of McKinney.
Now they've taken that extra tight end out and go back to their open attack.
They got Simmons still in the backfield in a blocking position, coming out of the flat. Passes and complete to the wideout at the 40-yard line. Moving upfield is Patterson, and Patterson is dropped inside the 40-yard line to about the 44.
Great design, Greg. That was a screen. Patterson was lined up on the right wide side. He comes back and watch him come back in motion now. As he comes in motion, he times it up. This is a middle screen. You see him waiting right here now? Now watch him wait. Now there's the screen. He's got all the linemen out in front of him now on the screen. He makes a good move cutting back to his left to pick up that first down. Middle screen, great design.
Ball just across the 40-yard line. First down for the Aggies. Already leading 10-0. No go on the handoff. They tried to swing it left, and the defense was right there. Robert McWright, the corner on that side, got through. Hobble was also there, the linebacker on that side, and there was a loss on the play of about 2 yards.
Well, TCU's run defense has been extraordinarily so far this year.
Hobble out of Brownwood, 204-pound junior linebacker. Great speed. Second down, 13. Patterson is the man in motion. Fumble on the snap. It appeared that Pavlis was able to recover. It'll be third down and 13. He just pulled away maybe a little quick.
Yeah, center didn't quite bring it up deep enough, and he pulled out a little bit. That's what makes the exchange fumble. Watch this from that angle.
Live action, and it is complete to Simmons. Simmons breaks forward across the 45-yard line. Now, he's still short of the first down, however, because they needed to get to midfield. So it's going to be punt time for the Aggies.
Last 7 possessions of both teams have been 7 punts. 4 for TCU. This is the third punt in a row for A&M. Both defenses are doing a good job right now.
TCU has one man back. That's Charles Britton, number 16. High snap. No rush, so no problem. Britton at the 16. 18, that's it. We'll give him 2 on that return and be perhaps generous. 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go. 10-0. A&M over TCU. We're in the first half. We'll be back.
Australian rules football, the survival of the fittest.
And a fumble on the exchange from center as the first down play goes awry for TCU with the clock ticking. 6 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the first half.
I don't think there's anything that makes coaches more mad than a center quarterback exchange fumble. You spend more and more time spending on that. Every play starts that way. You spend a lot of time working on that. And it's just upsetting because it's really a wasted down and a complete wasted play.
They've got the wideouts on both sides of the field now on a second down and 11. Giles, short drop, and he's dropped. Terry Price, number 88, the 272-pound defensive end, boomed him.
Well, Terry Price did a good job getting the sack. But if you can see out to the right side here, Aaron Walsh, you can't watch Aaron Walsh do a good job of jamming the receiver right there. He jams that receiver. That's who Giles wanted to go to. He's looking for him, and he's flat on his back. Now Price makes a tackle. Wallace showing that he can also jam besides rushing people.
Well, Giles has not been trying to run. It's pretty obvious. He's had to carry the ball 7 times, one way or the other, and he's lost 25 yards. Now he's going to try to run by design. And he goes out of bounds inside the 20.
Well, he's still going to be forced to punt the ball, though, and A&M should wind up getting good field position again.
Wind is negligible. The flags are hanging limp, but they're going to get good field position just from the position where the punt is coming from. It's going to come off the foot inside the 10.
And the Aggies have been rushing and trying to put pressure on him practically every time.
They got...
Well, they're backing out the return this time.
And Garrett is going to have to go back for it at the 29. Well, he had one block, and then when he turned the corner, he saw nothing but purple-shirted Horned Frogs. He gets it up to the 44. Still not bad field position. A 55-yard punt right when TCU needed one. So the Aggies will have it first down with 4 minutes and 53 seconds to play in the first half, leading 10-0. Lance Pavlis numbers deficient. And not only one TD pass, he also actually had to throw 2. One was called back by a penalty, and he threw another long bomb, which got his team down to the 1-yard line. They had to settle for a field goal, however. The running game has still not gotten in gear for the Aggies, and that's got to be of some concern. Stay with us at halftime. We'll talk to the head coaches of both schools, plus highlights of the first half.
2 tight ends again, Greg.
Pavlis on the keep, and he turns the corner, running out of bounds at midfield.
Well, the option down there, that didn't quite look like the thing that he likes to do, though.
No, he's a throwing quarterback. You know, there's the time left in the first half. Tough situation for Lance last year. Of course, Bucky Richardson is not in the competition because of the injury that he sustained at the end of last season, and he's being redshirted to recuperate. And a give inside is for very short yardage, maybe a yard, and that's about it. Wilson. Anyway, Pavlis won the job in the spring, and R.C. Slocum has no intention of having revolving quarterbacks, which is pretty much what Jackie Sherrill did last year. Well, they won a lot of games doing it that way, but I think it was tough developing any one of them to be consistent.
Well, their offensive line right now just isn't getting off the ball and getting to those defensive linemen to control the line of scrimmage. A good running attack, you see him drive the defensive lineman off the line.
Third down. There's Lewis, but he can't cut upfield. As again, a good defensive effort.
RC may want to take a look at this. They may want to go for this one on 4th down, depending on how far they have to go for it.
Jordy Reynolds, the linebacker, is credited with that tackle. He cut that off as he tried to turn the corner, and, well, he took a look, and he decided he's going to kick.
Well, I think he thought it might be with inches, but then it turned out to be a yard, and I think he figured, well, our defense is playing good, and we're heading 10-0. Let's don't do anything to give them life.
4th down, 1. Ostensibly a punt for Kesnelis. And it will be. Off the side of his foot, won't be returned, but he needs a good roll, and he got one. Out of bounds at the 11.
Out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
Well, at this point, his yardage average isn't very good, but his efficiency has been excellent. They've been down inside the 20, and that's what coaches are interested in.
37-yard punt, and more importantly, out of bounds at the 11, so TCU has a long way to go with just 2 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the first half. 10-0. Texas A&M leading. A touchdown pass to Lewis from Pavlis, and a field goal for scoring. Aggies had the ball in good field position on both of those drives.
Look at that rushing yardage for both teams, 19 and 12. That's not very good, is it?
Minus. Oh, yeah, the minus is hidden there by the 10. That's a minus 12.
Well, that minus comes up, though, from the sacks, quarterbacks being tackled there for some losses.
Yeah, well, that's where, 25 of them. I think about 20 of them just from the quarterback himself, Giles. Giles will drop back again. Jackson, and he's run out of bounds at about the 11. That's the line of scrimmage. A lot of action, but no gain. Brad Smith ran him down. Brad Smith, the linebacker, and
that was Patrick Henry. Patrick Henry made that play over there. Greg, good job with a screen pass coming out to that side. No, Patrick Henry kind of hung around and spied, looked around, and slid out there and made the tackle.
It'll be a 2nd down and 10. Quick hitter is complete, short of the 1st down. Well, let's see. Aggies think they got the football.
I think the official's going to mark it down, though. They're both talking about it, but I don't think either one of them saw that there was a fumble. I'll be surprised if they give this to the Aggies.
Michael Jackson caught it. The Aggies think that he coughed it up, and they took it away from him.
Well, if one of the officials away from the play may have seen it, it'll be different, but I'd be surprised if they gave it to the Aggies.
Yeah, they won't. It's 3rd down.
RC says it's either got to be an incomplete pass or our balls, but RC's yelling at the official on the sideline.
Well, he doesn't get either one. 3rd down, 3. 2:27 to go 1st half. Aggies 10, TCU nothing. The Horned Frogs with the ball. Giles with the keep. Hands the 1st down. Yes, just barely. He had to cross the 20 to the 21, and that's about where he got. Gary Jones, who's coming off injuries, has been playing a lot on the defensive unit. Had a groin injury and missed the Washington game. Came up to make that hit. They may have to look at the change, but from up here, it looks like they do have the 1st down.
Mickey Washington taking a good look at it and says, all right, I'll finally agree with you.
2 minutes and 11 seconds to go. TCU will send 2 wide receivers to the top of the screen. Patrick Dixon is number 80. Now there's Giles with some room. Well, he got another 1st down, I believe. He got up to the 32-yard line before he was dumped, making up for some of the negatives. He's now only -4.
Well, when you get outside that containment, it really puts a lot of pressure on the defense. You can do a little bit of holding going on in there. Now he gets outside, and there's no one out there. Now the defensive back will either come up or sit back. They've got to wait. Once you cross the line of scrimmage, they have to recover, but they're downfield pretty good covering those receivers. Allows him to pick up yardage.
1st down, they have so judged. The ball is at the 32-yard line. Or have they so judged? No, they're going to measure it.
They're going to measure this one.
And it is a 1st down.
Well, you saw that from up here. You already called it. You knew it was a 1st down.
Well, I thought it was. Mid-season form here in the 1st game. Jim Wacker.
Wacker would certainly like to get some points on the board before halftime.
Well, again, this game, they've had a couple passes not caught. Giles been off target with a few of them. And a fumble, and the Aggies have the football back, and Terry Price falls on it. He's had quite a 1st half.
Boy, there's those turnovers we talked about. Now, that gives the Aggies the ball in good field position. They've got some timeouts left. They've got all 3 of their timeouts left, Greg, with 1 minute and 52 or 1 minute and 35 seconds to go on the clock. They may have a chance to get some more points on the board. You see him come down the line. There's the Hannah. Just never got the ball in there properly. Overextended with it, and you really have to put that ball right in the breadbasket.
And they've had some real exchange problems between the quarterback and the ball carrier, and that was Pavlis just staying on his feet. Back up the middle, complete to the 2-yard line. Cornelius Patterson with his 2nd fine catch of the ball game, and it's 1st and goal.
Well, the defensive back went for the interception and just he underplayed the ball. See the defensive back there going for the interception, went underneath it. And when that happens, the ball went right in the receiver's hand and made the big play. He tried to make the big play. Turned out to be an A&M big play. Crucial for the Horned Frogs right now.
Well, let's see if the running game can get going here. Lewis on the carry. Touchdown, Aggies. the keys to winning before the game had to do with mistakes, and TCU has made some. Coughing the ball up and giving the Aggies really 3 scoring opportunities where they've not had to move the ball very far.
There's some blocking in there. That's a nice late play. Good lead blocking there by Wilson, the fullback. And Lewis exploded that one in there. He ran in there like he ran last year, was just getting into that line and making yardage.
The extra point kick is perfect by Lane Talbot, and that makes the score 17-0 in favor of Texas A&M.
That was a big turnover there, Greg. Going in behind 10-0, you can, Coach Wacker's standpoint, he could have said, hey, we hung in there pretty good. We made some mistakes early. We played even with that mistake. That's an altogether different outlook on the halftime.
Well, the one thing, just from my view here in the first half, it seems to be a problem, at least at this point with a triple shoot, is it's kind of tough to really run the passing portion of it unless you're really committed to it. And I still think they are trying to run the ball a lot more than a true believer would be doing.
I think that what's caused that, though, is the pressure that Wallace has put on, the pressure that Terry Price has. They put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and they tried to say, well, we've got to stop that a little bit by bringing our ends and receivers in a little bit tighter to force them to come a little bit slower. And, of course, that just shortens the field that A&M has to cover.
Well, and the other point that you made earlier is they are not really putting as many receivers out as, you know, they've got the tight end, and they're not putting as many receivers out as some teams with the run and shoot would do, so there aren't as many targets. There's the kickoff. Short bouncer is fallen on.
Well, I think that's exactly what Coach Slocum wanted there. He wanted it to bounce around so there'd be no chance of an organized return.
As Kevin Fry fell on it, 31 yards, all they had to go on the 2 plays. That's 2 touchdowns now directly as a result of turnovers.
That's exactly right there. You know, Jones touchdown, he got the ball on the +14. This one they got it on the +31. The scores have been made when they've taken the ball over in TCU's territory.
1 minute and 4 seconds to go in a half. The Aggies on top now by the 17-0 score. And I believe, as Giles drops back, he threw that one short. Was it scooped in? Yeah, incomplete. Ball was intended for Foray, but it was thrown short. 9 out of 18 for 65 yards for Giles. That would have given him some yards, but he left it a few inches short.
Just bounces in there. Giles has really got a good quick release. His timing just seems to be off the pad this evening.
2nd and 10. Todd Holmes wide to the near side. 2 receivers in the short side of the field. And a give on the fullback carry. There's a nice move up front by Modkins upfield. Modkins spins across for the first down at the 42. Of course, the clock is a factor now. With only 51 seconds, they'll move the chains, and unless TCU calls timeout, they'll start it as soon as they've got the change in position.
Well, he's going to go back in the huddle and try to call a play. He's going to waste a lot of time now.
Yeah, they should have been ready, really. The clock
started playing from the sideline, and apparently he didn't want an audible to it, so he took him back in the huddle. They used some precious time.
Inside pitch, that's a forward pass, and no gain. There's a flag thrown, however. Face mask. That's going to help TCU, as very little gain for Jackson, but they'll get more yards.
The big thing it'll do, it'll stop the clock and give them a chance to get a play called.
That's a play you don't see a lot, but it's a safe play, because if the ball carrier drops this, it's just an incompleted pass. Well, we didn't see the actual toss.
Now you can see the face mask call there, though. And a good call. G. Roy Robertson. Now you can see him come out now. There comes, you can see him coming across right there. It's a shuffle pass right forward into Michael Jackson's hands. Not the singer Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, the football player from Corpus Christi. He can run a 4.45, a red-shirted freshman.
And Modkins on the carry. Oh, did he run into Gary Jones? Hello. He did get the first down, however. He only needed to go about 3 yards. And now the clock is stopped with 8 seconds remaining.
Well, Gary Jones has been out the first game or two with a groin injury. This may be his first action.
Yeah, he didn't play last week. He's, of course, he was one of their top players, 3-year Letterman senior.
Take a look at it now. Watch the hit on the end of the play. That's the big thing. There's Verona. He did a good job picking up some yardage, breaks a couple tackles, but boom, right there. Hello.
Well, you know, Gary Jones is famous, too. He knocked out a couple of quarterbacks last year, including the game that we did against the Arkansas.
Aaron Wallace happened to be there also. Watch Aaron Wallace come to this play right there. No, not that one. A little bit later, right here, Aaron Wallace down low, bouncing off of him and knocking him out. Wallace and Jones kind of combined on that one.
Gary knocked out 2 quarterbacks in successive weeks. I'm not sure if that's a statistic that you play up, except the fact that Gary Jones hits very hard.
Well, coaches like that. Queen Grove especially.
Remember, we had the Arkansas A&M game last year, and Queen Grove couldn't come back after the first half. He suffered a concussion after was knocked out from a hit from Jones. It is first down and 10. Only 8 seconds left. Did he catch it? Yes. And there are 3 seconds left. Well, the next play has to go to the end zone.
Ooh, I think that was a close call. I think the official gave him a very favorable call on that one. Well, defensive secondary, of course, going to be playing way loose. See how loose they're playing? They know they got to get in the end zone. Now the ball's thrown to the sideline here.
And now with only 3 seconds, well, the defense will call timeout. 13 yards on the last play.
With 3 seconds, they want to make sure they got the people in there that they want to have in there.
Well, actually, for whatever reason, maybe laying back a little, or the fact that time was facing them, they didn't have much time to work with. This has been probably the best drive that TCU's had.
Now you can see the old defensive coach coming out in RC as defensive coordinator Bob Davey and Kirk Dahl, the inside linebacker, whatever they're talking about. The old defensive coordinator, RC, is going to slip in there and maybe make sure that they call what he wants.
Now, they've made some changes here. Are we going to see a humongous... No, surely not. What have we got in the game now for TCU?
Well, TCU looks like they're maybe...
That's their punter.
That's their field goal. Well, he's also a field goal kicker. He's kicked his senior year in high school. He kicked 2 53-yarders.
But I didn't see a holder come in. They surely did. Let's see. Yeah, there he is. Okay, there he is. This will be 50, we'll call it 52 yards. Well, he can kick this. That's not out of his range, and the wind is not a factor. Cordesman will try from 52. It is going to angle to the left and be off target. Cordesman had kicked 1 this year, but still 1. It was a 41-yarder last week. It is halftime, and our halftime score has Texas A&M 17, TCU nothing.
The most memorable moments in NFL history can now be yours in an all-new video cassette collection. Presenting the official NFL Films video collection from NFL Films, Fox Hills, and Time Life. Now you can replay the greatest games, the mammoth feats of the legendary linemen, the suspense of the Super Bowls, and more. Kick off your collection with the toughest, most explosive players in the game. They're all part of your first video cassette, Crunch Course. Just $14.99 plus shipping and handling. The official NFL Films video collection. Here's how to order.
Call now 1-800-262-0900 to get your first video cassette, Crunch Course, at the low introductory price of just $14.99. Or send 1822 to NFL Video Collection, P.O. Box 1880, Department 26, Alexandria, Virginia.
Hitting a windshield at 30 miles per hour is a lot like this.
I'll give you a 10, my friend, but you didn't keep your legs together.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
RC, a year ago, your first game as the head coach was against TCU.
It's flown by, Eddie. That doesn't seem like it's been that long, but I guess it has. And here we are again trying to win another football game.
How much difference between being an assistant coach and then stepping up that head coaching position?
There's just a lot more demands on your time outside of football. It's been a very busy summer traveling around, speaking to various A&M groups, and then you got to do the football things too.
R.C., what concerns you most about your football team at this stage of the season?
We're a young team. We've got a lot of new players in a lot of positions, particularly on defense. We're coming off a loss. That can be a positive thing for a team, or in some cases it's a negative thing, and I'm anxious to see tonight how we react to having lost last week.
Your reaction to the rest of the conference at this stage?
I think our league will be just like it always is. It'll be a dogfight to see who wins this thing. It looks like there are a lot of teams in here that have a chance to win it, and we start playing conference games tonight, so somebody will make a statement here tonight about part of it.
Yeah, this is a key ball game, I think, for both you and Jim Wacker.
I think you're exactly right. It's the first conference game, and the first time this year that either one of us is playing for keeps.
R.C., good luck to you and the Aggies for the rest of the season, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
The Astros round third and head for the home stretch and the Western Division title. Their lineup features something old and something new. The old are wily veterans Mike Scott, Glenn Davis, and Bill Doran. While the new are Craig Biggio, Ken Caminiti, and Gerald Young. Home Sports Entertainment, your ticket for the showdown in the West.
1876. Texas A&M University is founded as a land-grant college. 1971, designated a Sea Grant college. At the close of the 80s, it achieves Space Grant status. Land Grant, Sea Grant, Space Grant. One of a select few in the nation. Texas A&M University, meeting challenges through teaching, research, and public service, now and into the 21st century.
Jim, a lot of talk about your triple shoot. Give us a brief explanation of what you're really doing.
Well, basically, we're trying to go with a lot of it's all one-back offense, basically. It's a tight end and 3 wide receivers as opposed to Houston with 4 wide receivers. But it is a one-back offense. Basically, a lot of the passing game is based on the run-and-shoot principles. And, I think it's a fun way to kind of spread a bunch of them little guys out all over the field and see how they do. By the same token, we are running a little bit of veer, and therefore, the triple option, that's been part of our game plan forever and ever, of course. We think that's the most explosive running game in college football, and we think the best ball control passing game happens to be the run and shoot. We're trying to combine those two and hopefully we don't run out of bullets.
Well, Coach, I think important opening ball game for you and both RC.
Oh, is it ever? Anytime it's the first game, conference play, man alive, whoever wins this one, they're picked to win the conference right now. Obviously, if we can beat A&M, I really believe we've got a chance to play with anybody in the conference. So you talk about a big boost for our players now for TCU and Horned Frog football. I can't think of anything that would be nicer.
Alongside with A&M, your evaluation of some of the other schools in the conference.
Oh, I think you've got to put Houston and Arkansas up there at the top right now. And, after that, who in the world? It looks like the rest of us, you might just throw in a mumble-jumble there in the middle, and let us battle it out. But, again, anything, it's way too early to tell right now. Of course, this one tonight is going to be really a critical ball game. And there are going to be a lot of important ones down the road. But right now, what happens this week is going to be critical.
Okay, Jim, thanks an awful lot for spending time with us. And we'll be back after this short break.
20 years ago, leukemia and related diseases took enough lives to wipe out a city the size of Burlington, Vermont. Since then, the Leukemia Society of America has funded $50 million in research. Today, 8 out of 10 children with the most common type of leukemia will survive, and survival rates for adults have increased significantly. But until everyone survives leukemia, we need your help. Give to the Leukemia Society of America. We're closing in on a killer.
The Great Games, the games to remember, 1957. Notre Dame's Fighting Irish snap Oklahoma's 47-game winning streak, and the Sporting News was there.
The Sporting News, where great things happen every week. Don't let them happen without you.
Call 1-800-592-8900 and get 29 issues of the Sporting News for 4 payments of just $4.99. You'll save 69% off the cover price, 40% off the regular subscription rate. Call now 1-800-592-8900.
If you're a former Marine, take the challenge. Reserve your place on the team. The Marine Reserve.
Greg Lucas back along with Ed Biles. It is 17-0. The Aggies lead the Horned Frogs at the half, and the scoring was set up really by some mistakes and some defensive plays. The first one came as a result of a tip pass interception.
Giles went back to throw. Patrick Henry got his hand on the ball. Interception by Kevin Smith, who returned this down the sideline. Goes out of bounds on about the 13-yard line. And that set up A&M's first touchdown.
They actually had to do it twice, but the second one's the one that counted after a penalty pushed them back. It was Wilson for the score. And with the extra point, that made it 7-0. Then Pavlis with a desperation heave down the sideline later on in the first half.
And that ball is kind of tipped. And then Waddle takes it in and takes it down to the 1-yard line. And they wound up getting a field goal out of it. They didn't really get a touchdown on it. Now here's a touchdown late in the first half after turnover by Darren Lewis, who drives through there 5 yards straight ahead, isolate play with lead blockers, and he scores touchdown, made it 17-0, and we're ready for the second half, Greg.
Darren didn't have too many stats to speak of, but he did have the touchdown. We'll take a look at the first half ones in a moment, but we're just about set for the kickoff. So here we come, and again, it is A&M receiving the kick in the end zone and coming out. That's Horton. Horton is very dangerous, but not this time, as he was tripped up by number 41, Jason Cauble, and he stopped the long run return possibility. TCU had more first downs, had the ball a little bit longer, turnovers hurt, and of course the touchdown scored directly after turnovers. And it only took him 1:24 on the 5 plays, so you can see that that probably was the most important stat, even more so than the others. All right, first down. And Lewis is loose in the flat, out of bounds at about the 24-yard line, a little bit short of the first down. Larry Brown ran him out, but pickup of perhaps 9.
Lewis is getting the opportunity to show that he's an all-around back. He's not just a runner. He can catch the football coming out of that backfield.
Cornelius Patterson is wide to the top of the screen with Wilson and now Lewis to carry. First down and about a yard more, and that's all as he's bumped out of bounds by Larry Brown, the corner, coming up with some help. It is first down now. Let's see if they can get Lewis running, because
that play was designed to go inside. He brought it all the way back to the outside. He did pick up the first down, but he came out from where the hole was supposed to be and brought that ball back to the outside.
Yeah, you got to figure he's also probably getting a little frustrated himself. He's not been able to gain much of anything. In the first half, he was held in check once again. Little looping pass, but that's out of bounds. That couldn't have been caught by anybody. Second down. He had Waddle streaking across the field, but away from the play, and he couldn't really throw it that direction, so he had to try to go down the sideline.
Yeah, he had to throw it cross country, get it all the way back across there, run it one way and throw another.
That's a long toss. Okay, Waddle comes out wide to the top of the screen. It's 2nd and 10. The 30 across to the 33-yard line. First contact, Booker was in on the play. And
Waddle's a big receiver, 6'1", 185-pounder. And you can see again the strength of Pavlis' arms. He goes back, he's looking all the way, but wobbles out there, but still gets out there in pretty good shape.
It'll be second down, or make that third down and 4. Waddle makes the catch, and he's got the first down at the 40, about the 38-yard line when they spot it. He got it by a yard or so. Waddle comes underneath on this, and the other receivers cleared out. You see him coming across the field. Now Waddle comes back underneath there. Makes the catch. Good hands. Cradles it in. Picks up another first down. Waddle had 3 receptions coming into today. He has 3 in this game. Waddle has 4. And he's out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Oh, he put a great move on that time. He came way down to the inside. Then he broke back to the outside. He just did a great move on that play. Good timing on the pass with Pavlis. Now watch him come down here now. As he comes off the line of scrimmage, watch him come to the inside. See that 1, 2, 3 step to the inside. Now he breaks to the outside. Defensive back coach McWright had to take that inside fake because there wasn't a free safety there to give him any help. Big first down. 20-yard gain on the play. Lewis, and he breaks a tackle. He gets up to about the 36-yard line. Pickup of maybe 6 on the play. It was a good run, one of his better, as he got through the hole quickly, and then he showed a little more explosiveness. 2nd down and 3. Well, that passing game, if they keep throwing the ball like that, they may open up that running game for Lewis. A&M getting in and out of the huddle a little bit quicker this half. Lewis had just 11 yards rushing in the first half. Lone running back, Patterson in motion. Lewis. Well, he tried the left side and perhaps gained 2. He needed 3. Fred Washington was the man that started to plug it up, along with Marsh. Close to the first down. It's going to be close. They may have to measure. They're taking an awful good look at it. Yeah, let's see where they actually put the ball down. It looks like it is going to be a tad shy. Actually, it's a tatter shy. They moved it back just a little bit. There's that big line. Groot, 330. Webb, 291. McCall, 314. They need a yard. Can they push it out? Well, aren't going to have to because the end on the top of the screen moved, and that was Mike Jones. Well, what caused that? Mike Jones was split a little bit, about 3 yards. The linebacker moved down inside of him. Mike Jones knew that he's going to have to get down there and cut him off, otherwise the linebackers make the play. And he was trying to cheat on the count. That'll be 5 more. 45 yards in penalties on 6 penalties against the Aggies. That's been their weakness in the game tonight. And, of course, turnovers has been the weakness on the other side. It is 3rd down and now 7. Passing play for Pavlis. Little screen pass. It is, well, I think dropped. Let's see. Patterson had it. Nope, they're going to call it a foul. Incomplete pass. Incomplete pass. TCU players thought that he caught it and dropped it, but the officials are going to say, nope, never had it. 4th down. Let's take a look at it. I think it's a good call by the official. He's coming down to the inside. I don't think he ever had control of the ball. Right there, the ball's behind him. He's trying to get it out and never brought it in. It never had control of it. So it's 4th down. Ellis averaging just 35, but now he's again not looking for distance. He's looking for position. He may have it. Well, not this time. Is he going to be spotted at about the 20? Well, they're still moving it back to the 24.5 before TCU puts the ball in play. We'll take a timeout with a scoreboard check showing the Aggies leading it 17-0. 12:10 to go in the 3rd quarter.
I'm Virgil Ward, inviting you to watch our show, Championship Fishing. Our TV crew has journeyed far and wide to bring you bass fishing from Lake Okeechobee, tarpon fishing from Boca Grande, peacock bass fishing from the Amazon, and char fishing from the Arctic. For exciting action, beautiful scenery, wildlife scenes, and helpful fishing tips, be sure to watch our show right here on Home Sports Entertainment.
Take a hike, Thurston. He's no crash dummy, not a scratch on him.
Thurston's my hero.
Why is that, my little battered buddy?
Because he gets to wear the safety belt.
No wonder he's still got his original paint job.
You can't hate a dummy for being smart.
I guess so.
Here he comes.
Hey, keep up the good work, guys.
Buckle it up, Thurston.
I always do.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Texas A&M 17, TCU nothing. As we get set to resume play, 17-0 with the ball on the 25-yard line. TCU has it. Short gain inside, just a simple handoff and maybe a yard, that's all. That was Modkins. Modkins came in and started playing rather late in the first quarter and actually led the club in carrying the ball. Ball carrying, he has 20 yards now and 4 carries. And that's not much, however, to lead a team at this point in the ball game. Second and 9. Sack time. Kevin Tucker, the freshman redshirt from Angleton, who made that sack, is his story. He had an accident riding the back of a pickup truck and made a comeback, an 8-yard loss on the play.
Good coverage downfield by the Aggies. You see him looking around. Now finally the protection breaks down and Tucker gets in and makes the tackle, but the secondary coverage was awful good that time.
And that's the tough part about this type of offense. Your receivers are supposed to have enough freedom. They're supposed to be able to get themselves loose, but it didn't happen. Well, that was the old standard basic football timing pass play, but it was incomplete. Intended for Palmer, the tight end, and it's 4th down. Price put some pressure on, but 4th down.
Again, the Aggies are probably going to come out of this with good field position.
Well, they're going to kick it away. Roberts, the punter, has had a boomer earlier in the game, and he needs one here. Fair catch being called for at the 43-yard line. Got pretty good distance on that, as Garrett will down the ball at that point. Don't forget our next Southwest Conference telecast, Saturday, October 7th at 10:30. The Baylor Bears take on the Houston Cougars. Talk about run and shoot. You talk about a Baylor team that always has a great deal of respect. That's a delayed game at 10:30 Saturday, October 7th. Cougars having a test in the state of Arizona, and Baylor, of course, today went to Georgia.
Tough when you get in those hedges over there, Georgia.
Bulldogs beat a Bear. 10:43 to go in the third quarter. It is 17-0 A&M. Aggies looking for their second win against one defeat. They opened with a non-conference win at home against LSU, lost at Washington, and now they're opening conference play against TCU, a team which is 0-1 after an early loss. Incomplete. There was nobody there except the defense. The closest possible receiver was linebacker Greg Moore.
Yeah, I think he was anticipating someone coming to the inside. And he's looking right now as they're coming back to the huddle. He's doing a little talking to the outside receiver. He's going down, anticipating someone breaking inside of the zone. And there's no one there. You can see Lewis breaking to the outside, and the outside receiver, one of those two was supposed to come to that inside area.
Incomplete, 2nd and 10. And wrap-up time, Freddie Washington, number 47. Big Fred, 285 pounds of muscle and obvious speed.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He has played a fine defensive football game this evening, given a tremendous amount of effort. Got that good size, that 285-pounder senior, 3 letters out of Denison, Texas.
6'3". Another in the fine line of defensive tackles that start with the name Willie here in TCU. 3rd down and 22.
Screen.
He's got some room, but has he got enough? Wilson is stopped short of the first down. Brought down by LaVoyle Crump. And it'll be fourth down.
That's a good screen. Good call. At least he picked up some of the yardage and helped it to the punt. You see him lay right over them. You see the lineman downfield. Now, there's a decent block in there, but the lineman down there just didn't do much blocking. They all got out in front, and they kind of stood around and wanted to watch Wilson run the football. They have to go pick someone out and block him.
Sean Wilson is in to punt for the first time, and that one is off the side of the foot, and it's down back at the 9-yard line. Good punt by Sean. And that was down inside the 10 at the 9, so it was a good punt. It pushed the Horned Frogs deep. They'll put the ball in play back on their, just short of the 10-yard line. First down, 17-0. That was a 42-yard punt with great placement by Sean Wilson, who really lost his starting job as the #1 punter this year.
Looks like we got a new quarterback in there for TCU, Greg.
That's Leon Clay. He is a redshirt freshman with a great arm and quick feet. Also pretty good baseball player, twice selected by major league teams in the baseball draft. So good all-around athlete. Let's see what he can do.
He's played over there in Gladewater, Texas.
Nothing yet. And it is TCU giving it up to Tucker. And it's a 1st and goal. Kevin Tucker. Well, what a tough way to start. Another handoff problem.
Take a look at it. Now, he gets a center exchange, but he puts it in. Looks like he wanted to take it back out. I think he wanted to take it back out of there and run the ball to the outside. And looked like there might have been a little misread between he and the fullback. Look at it from another angle. See, he's going in with, puts it in the fullback. He's got the option of bringing it out. Looks like the fullback's trying to take it away. I think he wanted to hang on to the ball and make the pitch.
Lewis to the 4. Booker was in on the tackle with help. Booker, the linebacker out of McGregor. Of course, you go up the middle, you're going to draw a crowd. It is 2nd and goal from the 4.
If he starts picking up those 6 yards or so, he'll break one.
A very significant statistic you briefly saw. I would say that is going in untouched. Darren Lewis with his 2nd touchdown. He's up to 31 yards rushing, but more importantly, he's put 12 points on the board. 2 touchdowns.
That's what you call good execution of the option, and also good faking in there, so they went for the fake. Chase the ghost.
The extra point forthcoming with 8:28 to go in the 3rd. It's good. And the Aggies rolling. Texas A&M 24, TCU nothing. 8:28 to play in period 3. The Aggie band fired up. Every Aggie point.
Let's team up and show everyone we all have to care about clean air. Team up.
Join the Woodsy team.
Hi, I'm Fred Miller, chairman of the Division 1A Athletic Directors Marketing Committee. This stadium's empty right now, but it won't be for long. College sports are an important part of college life. Now, you can look great and boost your favorite university's program by ordering an officially licensed T-shirt and cap for only $21.95. The T-shirt is available in white or gray with the official 2-color school logo. The premium quality embroidered hat comes in white. This officially endorsed program is available from major universities to boost and benefit their schools and their athletic program. I've got mine, and it looks great. Get your officially licensed T-shirt and cap with the school logo for just $21.95. Let's team up to support our college athletics. Here's how to order.
Credit card orders, call toll-free 1-800-858-4900 or send check or money order for $21.95 with shirt size and choice of school to University Athletic Properties, P.O. Box 706, Middleton, Wisconsin 53562. Please allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery. That phone number again is 1-800-858-4900.
We all thank you for supporting college athletics.
24-0 A&M. All their points being set up after TCU mistakes.
Here's the touchdown. You can make a good fake inside to Wilson. Wilson carries it out. Now Pavlis comes right down the line. When he makes the pitch, there's no one out there, as you can see. He walks it in the end zone. Good execution of the option. It's like the Aggies are well on their way to their 17th straight win over TCU.
They have dominated this series. That's
not the longest in the conference, though, from a winning standpoint. Texas holds that. They've beaten Rice 23 straight times in a row, and they've also beaten TCU 21 times in a row.
That's going to go out of bounds, so flag it. TCU has never been able to get any sustained offense going the whole game. The Aggies haven't had to have a lot because they've gotten the ball with good field position on 4 occasions. The last one a perfect example. 9 yards, 2 plays.
36 seconds. Yeah, when you get the ball on the plus 14 and the plus 44 and the plus 31 and the plus 9, you're just going to somehow or other put points on the board unless you're just a very poor offensive football team.
Some of the young fans. And that's who's bringing you the game. Of course, Home Sports Entertainment. Greg Lucas here along with Ed Biles. The first of our Southwest Conference visits this year. We'll have the Southland Conference. And, of course, Home Sports Entertainment will also be looking in on a lot of other conferences throughout the season. A short kick. Larry Brown gets it up to about the 43-yard line, where TCU will have one of their better field positions to start a drive. I don't think they've been in A&M territory more than a couple of times all night.
Yeah, this is a better field, one of the better times of field position they started out with.
23-yard return for Jim Wacker's crew. They'll see where they can get started. First down. Clay stays in at quarterback. He was in for the one fumble on his first play, and another fumble. I don't believe it. William Thomas took that one. And that was between Modkins and Clay again. Modkins coughed it up. You know, Ed, here's the frustrating thing. Young teams are young teams. They make mistakes, but these are not the kind that anybody should make.
No, that's a quarterback handoff fumble. It wasn't a forced fumble by Texas A&M, and again, those are the kind of mistakes that really drive coaches crazy because there wasn't no contact there.
Well, you can say all you want about all these guys are young players. Hey, they played high school football. Those aren't acceptable there either. There's a complete pass to the tight end, Mike Jones, down inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. Pavlis to Jones, first down A&M.
You know, R.C. Slocum said all along that he was going to bring Pavlis along very slowly in his development, and maybe beginning to pay off here. He looks like he's getting a lot more confidence in the passing game. He's getting confidence that Pavlis as he goes along, and right now he is picking and reading and doing a good job moving the team, and it will certainly open up that running game.
25-yard gain, so 189 yards passing and give inside for very short yardage. The one thing it hasn't done yet, Ed, is it hasn't opened up the running that they were hoping it would. They're still not getting consistent ground action, but they've passed it almost 200 yards.
Yeah, I think that ball was carried in there that time by Keith McAfee from Willow Ridge, Missouri City, my hometown.
Oh, well, he's a pretty good speedy back. He gets some running time, some playing time, and of course he's playing behind guys like Lewis.
He's a good-looking sophomore, though. He's 6'1", 209-pounder.
James Marcus is in at fullback as well. Pavlis with a quick drop back. There's your man, and he drops himself down, actually. He trips up. He tried to cut inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. McAfee, the ball will be spotted at the 14. It'll be third down. And now Lewis back in for McAfee.
Yeah, it's good to get those young players, get as much experience you possibly can get into them. I think they're looking at his cleats and wondering why he slipped on that play.
Gary Oliver is wide near side with Waddle inside. Flags jumping around on the line. Move them back 5. It'll be 3rd, 13. He just joined us, 24-0, Texas A&M with 6:44 left in the 3rd. They have taken advantage of virtually every TCU turnover, and they've been a bunch. Oliver, and he is dropped in his tracks by Crump right at the 15-yard line. And it'll be 4th down and 9, so here comes the unit that will try to kick for 3.
Of course, you're going to let them catch the ball, short like this, and that's what it was, an inside short pass, and you'll allow them to have that completion and hold it to the field goal attempt.
Talbot has kicked 2 out of 4 this year. It's strong. It's good. Make it 3 out of 5. Put 3 more points on the board. And Texas A&M now leads it 27-0 over TCU with 5:53 to play in period 3. Well, here's an upcoming look at Major League Baseball action on Home Sports Entertainment as the season is drawing down to a precious few games. Live Monday through Thursday at 7:30, the Texas Rangers take on the Seattle Mariners. Then they'll close out the home season with 3 games. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Chicago White Sox. That's our schedule of Major League Baseball beginning Monday night on HSE. $27-0, the Aggies over TCU. Aggies wanting to bounce back from a performance last week against Washington in which they were really in the game all the way, but they never could get anything going to get them back in it when it came down to the wire.
Well, I think the key thing, again, is this is the first conference game for the Aggies, and an important one for them to get on the right side if they're going to be a factor in the conference championship. And it's going to be a tough loss for Jim Wacker and the Horned Frogs if it continues to go this way. They had high hopes to maybe play a little better this evening.
At the 4-yard line. And that's it for Britain. And a return of just 8. There's the scoring drive. Again, a very short one. Talbot's 33-yard field goal capping it. Yeah, let's see. Try to check. Giles is back in at quarterback. So after Clay came in and one fumble definitely was his responsibility, and the other one maybe wasn't, he's out. Wallace rides down the big tight end Kelly Blackwell after a completed pass of about 5 yards.
One of the things that Coach Slocum said before the game when I talked with him, who's going to be content to make them catch those underneath passes? So we have to find out whether they can catch them or whether they'll drop as many as they did last week. And I think one of their thoughts was let them catch it and let's punish them a little bit. Of course, at this stage of the game with 27-0 lead, you'll be glad to let them complete those short ones.
Giles has hit 13 at 23, but just 85 yards, so that shows they've been short ones. Down for Giles as he runs out of bounds at about the 24, 7-yard pickup. And so they'll move the chains. 4 minutes and 59 seconds remaining in the third quarter, 27-0 A&M.
Oh, Trent Lewis, a linebacker, playing in there now. And Robinson played a little bit unhappy with himself. He lost containment. He come back hitting himself on the top of the helmet.
Giles keeps it, drops it, fumbles it. Is it in play? I believe they may going to say he was already down, but let's check.
You got a hurt Aggie down on the field there also, Greg. John Cooper, I believe, is the hurt Aggie.
Yeah, number 27.
Yeah. Let's see what happened here, if we can catch up what happened there. See Giles coming down the line. Goes for it. That from another angle. He can fix it in. Now he brings it back to the outside. Oh, he just missed.
He fumbled before he was tackled. They did not.
Well, I think he probably had that.
He got it back. He got it back anyway.
When he had that arm out, when Cooper came across, he had that arm out. It was kind of like making an arm tackle, and he just got that shoulder bruised a little bit. He'll be back in the ball game. That's one of the things that coaches talk about. Arm tackling. Don't do that when they mean arm tackling. He had that arm stuck out there way like a wing of a chicken, and when you get a little contact with that, that really stings and hurts. He'll say, yeah, I know, coaches, you told me not to tackle that way, and I paid for it.
Running back is Darrell Johnson, the freshman from San Antonio. I checked that. That's number 35. That's Corey Ford on the carry, number 3-5. And he got the ball up across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. It'll be third down and 3.
Second half stats. A&M 97 yards, TCU -6. That's why the score is 27-0, Greg.
Yeah, that total, though, still is low considering we've only got 4:30 to go, 9 to go in the third quarter. They have only 97 yards, but don't forget they haven't had to have very many. They've gotten the ball so close to the goal line to begin play. Giles, quick dump off. He's hit hard. The pass is incomplete. Giles paid for it as he was hit very hard just by Aaron Wallace as he let go of it.
And he's saying, you didn't hurt me, Aaron Wallace. You didn't hurt me. But he nailed him a good one. A little fake. He's come out in the bootleg. Now watch Wallace come up in the face. Boom, legitimate hit right there. And he's out of bounds. Incomplete pass. Giles is saying, you didn't hurt me, Aaron. You didn't hurt me. I'm back up on my feet. They'll shake hands here in a second. See that? That's what happens, laughing at each other at that point.
Saying, nice hit, man. Okay. Rex Roberts has had a good night punting with the longest of 54. Garrett is back. Garrett at the 33. Nope, nowhere that way. Let's try this way. Whoop. Nice tackle in the open field by number 32, Tommy Palmer, as he held off the blocker. It was a 10-yard return. And it will be first down again for Texas A&M. This time, though, they're going to have to work for it if they score some points. 27-0, they lead. Got a little further to go here. Now, this would be a perfect drive if they're going to get a running game going to use it. They've got a lot of field traverse. They got 4:21 to go in the third quarter. They got, as you can tell, a huge line. Number 73, that's Darren Groot, 330 pounds. He's a horticulture major.
Does he look that much bigger than Matt McCall? McCall weighs 314.
And Matt is known as the USS McCall. He's so big.
Big as a battleship, huh?
There's McAfee. As McAfee gets across the 45 to about the 46, pickup of maybe 3, second down and 7. Time left in quarter 3. Scoreboard 27-0 A&M. McAfee now leaves, as does Mike Jones. Garrett and Oliver are wide to the top of the screen. Patterson, they got 4 wideouts now. Patterson is on the near side. And a give inside goes to Marcus. Marcus breaks forward across the 50, near the first down as he's tripped up at about the 48. Marcus, his first carry, he's only been in the lineup 4 or 5 plays. James is a junior from Grand Prairie. Texas. Little draw play. Looking to sprint out to his left, hands it back on the draw, tries to use his blockers, cuts back. Now he gets a little fancy. If he'd gone straight forward, he would have definitely had the first down. Now they're looking over. It's going to be close enough, but I think it's going to be a first down.
Marcus Jr., who has not lettered before, getting to play in front of certainly more relatives and friends than normal, living in Grand Prairie, just midway between Dallas and Fort Worth.
First down by 6 inches, Greg.
All right. I didn't spot it. I think you're right, though. See if it's really 6. Yeah, I'd say that's 6.
Right in the middle of the football.
Yeah.
It's easy to tell on AstroTurf fields.
Well, the lines are defined well. R.C. Slocum. Has he coached or what? Not as a head coach a lot, but he's been an assistant at Lake Charles, Louisiana High School, Kansas State, A&M twice, the CFL in Saskatchewan, Southern California. Turned 45 in November, early November, November 7th. Play action from Pavlis. Breaks down, but he's got running room and a blocker. Doesn't use the blocker, but gets inside the 30 to about the 28. Jason Cauble chased him down. He had McAfee, who was trying to figure out a way to get in position to throw a block, but McAfee was probably just lucky he didn't throw one from behind because he was in a position where he might have done it. 19-yard gain.
Now he goes back to pass. Now he's looking downfield. He really wants to put the ball up deep out there to his left. He's looking. Nothing's open. Now eventually the pocket starts to collapse. Starts out. He's still looking to throw the ball. Now he knows he's got all kind of open room. He wants to use that blocker in front of him, but McAfee, but he finally decided, well, I better get out of bounds. Coach told me not to take a beating.
That was up to even in his rushing totals. McAfee gets it for maybe a yard gain. Fred Washington in on that stop.
You know, Greg, you were talking about R.C. Slocum becoming the head coach, and I've known him a long time, and he has not changed one bit since he's taken over his head coaching job. And I'm sure his assistant coaches realize that what he says behind the closed doors, they can go out and say because he says them outside of closed doors. He's that type of individual.
Second down and 10. Again, play action. Gonna have to eat it. Whoa! As Pavlis is ridden down by Roosevelt Collins. Boy, that's like dragging a truck. Collins at 235 coming in the defensive end, and Pavlis was able to carry him back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, he's not going to outrun Roosevelt Collins. He can run a 4.6.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's faster than Pavlis can run.
Good quarter for A&M, that stat there. That's 126 yards of offense and, you know, some semblance of balance between passing and rushing. Collins has got great leg strength. He squats 625 pounds squats with his legs.
Third and 10. Patterson has to come back for it. Can't take it on the short hop. It's incomplete. Fourth down. So the Aggies will stare at 4th and 10 from the 28. We would expect to see the kicking team, and that is what we're going to see. And it's Lane Talbot. He's going to try one from about the 36, 46-yard attempt for Talbot. He's kicked one between that distance this year. And it is good. So Talbot with his second field goal makes it 30-0 Texas A&M with exactly 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go in quarter 3.
He got that over with 3 or 4 yards to spare, so he can hit that 50-yarder if he has to, Greg.
2 of them in this half would have been right down the middle. It's not been a good night for Horned Frogs.
No, I think the key thing right now for Jim Wacker is this, as they get into this fourth quarter, still 2 minutes to go in the third, but he'd like to see his team settle down, get a little drive going, and get something on the board so they have something to build on for their next week's football game. As you know, the next couple of weeks, both these teams play the same team.
Yeah,
Southern Mississippi. Bet there's a scout here.
Or two. Which is ironic. They play them at A&M's off, but they both play the same opponent, and their next two opponents is the same team.
Yep.
So the Miss just stay over here and play an afternoon game, maybe a night game. Save some travel expenses.
Save a lot of them. It's 30-0 in favor of the Aggies. A short kick, Britton. Hey, Britton's got some room, folks. Down to the 44-yard line. Britton stacked up there by Derek Frazier, a 30-yard return. Yeah, there was one of the few bright spots so far. Here's what it looks like when the ball is coming your direction.
And you're going to catch it and take off with it. With all that coming down looking at you. Makes a good little move here. Now cuts back out to the left. Going to move back out to the left now. And tries to use his speed. Frazier did a good job of holding his ground over there and just leveling off and making sure he made the sure tackle.
Only a gain of a couple of yards for number 35, Corey Ford. Ford's a high school freshman, meaning not that he's a high school freshman, meaning that he is a real freshman. He's not a redshirt. Flag on the play.
Holden. Oh boy, just what TCU needs. A couple penalties now.
The drive was another short one.
Cheerleaders still hang in there.
Ball is back on the 34, and there's your third quarter totals. With 1:47 left in the period, that's how they stand at this point.
Yeah, that's a little bit of everything. A little bit of good defense by A&M, a little bit of self-destruction by TCU.
That's complete inside the midfield stripe. Of course, they needed long yardage. It was Mike Nowak making the catch. Nowak is a freshman redshirt from Duncanville. Still needs about 5 yards for the first down, though. But they got a lot of the penalty back.
Snow's a little late getting up there. He's still down. Here's a replay of it. Does a good job looking around and finally spots someone downfield. Lays it over the top of those linebackers and in front of the secondary. That was a good pass by Giles, just getting that in there.
I was going to say, there wasn't much hole to throw it.
Again, this is Snow on his, looks like they're fooling around with his right forearm or right elbow.
Dion is a senior. Came in after transferring from Fullerton Junior College a year ago. He's from Los Angeles.
Not too many out-of-state players in this ball game. I think of the 44 offensive and defensive starters for both teams, there's only about 7 or 8 out-of-state players involved.
And virtually those are almost all junior college transfers like Dion Snow, recruited to fill a particular void. And it looks like he'll be all right. It's 2nd down and 5 at the 49. TCU's 49. They've got the ball.
I think Fred Washington sprained his ankle for TCU, and he probably won't return to the game.
Foray is wide to the top of the screen. Holmes wide to the bottom. And Giles running for his life. He may have a long life. Ball is completed to his tight end, Kelly Blackwell, who bangs his way across the 40.
Kelly Blackwell's trying to fire that TCU crowd up over there with that play. Giles just does a great job here. Every right to means he should be sacked. Right there, he's in trouble. Maybe a little face by him.
Almost
gets to the outside. Another missed tackle there. Now it looks like he's going to run it. Then he spots Blackwell open downfield. And he says, let's go get in this a little trouble here and get some action.
Fumble again. Giles does not have it.
Wallace
has it. It is the Aggies football, and my, oh my, shoot the Horned Frogs in the other foot.
Well, we said they couldn't have those turnovers up front, and that's the storyline of this whole thing.
I think the other thing, too, Ed, is most of them are quarterback mistakes.
5 fumbles and only 1 interception.
There's a replay of it. Oh, he just
dropped it out of his hand.
Dropped it out of his hand. Maybe that guard, when he pulled, might have hit him and just nipped him a little bit, which knocked it out of his hand. But Wallace has got it. Fumble recovery for Wallace. 6 turnovers for TCU. Looks like Pavlis is finished for this evening. Chris Osgood from Moss Point, Mississippi.
Well, he was one of the 3 that were in the rotation last year at quarterback. He offers more speed as a runner.
Yeah, we'll probably see a few more option plays right now.
Of course, he's got another Moss Point Mississippian in the lineup.
Well, 6 turnovers. And we said earlier they had to avoid those turnovers. Can't do that and win football games.
First down. Ball at the 47. Lewis, he's got a hole. He's got some room. Oh, my. If he had not had one teammate out there setting a block at about the 35, he might have been able to go all the way in on that one.
And he kind of knows it himself. He's grabbing his face mask because he thought he might have a chance to. Here's a replay of it. Now, this time as he gets up there, he makes that right there. He explodes a little bit into the hole and turns his running ability on. Now he goes out of bounds.
Waddle was trying to set the block and kind of just got in the way. Still, it was a 15-yard gain. And that makes him 45 yards on 14 carries. First down. Well, there he was looking for something that wasn't there. That kind of typifies what you were talking about earlier. It's second down and 10.
Yeah, he seems to be doing a little bit more of that this year for some reason. Now, maybe the coaches are asking him to kind of pick and look for his holes. I think last year when he was making all that yardage, he was making one decision and going for it and picking up 4 yards on play like that. Now it looks like he might be trying to make too many big plays.
He had 10 consecutive 100-yard games last year after the first 2. He has not had a 100-yard game yet this year. He's got 15 seconds plus a quarter left if need be, but his club is leading 30-0, so that's not likely. Osgood's pass toward the corner is caught by Waddle. Waddle at the 6-yard line.
Great pass, great catch.
First and goal for A&M with 4 seconds to go in the quarter.
Well, take a look at this now. Osgood does a great job of laying this over the outside shoulder. Gets it up high enough. Waddle with his 6'1" height. You can see him go up over the top of the defensive back and makes the catch. Just a great concentration by Waddle.
And as they put the chains in place, the clock rolls out. We have reached the end of period 3 with the score, Texas A&M 30, TCU nothing.
The Southern Texas PGA September schedule tees off with the Section Championship Pro-Am at Horseshoe Bay on the 10th, followed by the Section Championship on the 11th through the 13th. Hearthstone Country Club hosts the Professional Ladies Tournament on September the 18th. The tournament then moves to Willow Creek on the 25th. A Pro-Am benefiting the School for the Blind at Balcones Country Club in Austin is set for the 25th. The member qualifying for the Texas Open at Oak Hills in San Antonio rounds out the month's activities. Watch HSE for updates on the Southern Texas PGA.
Bases loaded. Meadows could make it cozy here. The pitch to him. There's a drive. Way back into right field. A grand slam. Holy Toledo. Louis Meadows has jacked one out of here. A line drive home run. Whoa, it's a brand new ball game. And listen to this crowd.
Davis hits one toward right center. Doran is into third. Biff Roberts bobbles the ball. Billy Doran's being waved home. Here's the relay from Alomar to the plate. The Astros win it. The Astros win the ball game. 8-7. Glenn Davis picked on a high pitch and drove it to the gap. And another most improbable finish has gone the Astros' way.
The Houston Astros on HSE, raising the roof on the National League West.
Oh, okay. Texas A&M 30-0. Waddle with 112 yards on 5 receptions, and this one was a sparkler.
Oh, he just does a good job. Look at the concentration. Look at his eyes. Look at his face. Now, he times it. He jumps high in the air. You see the defensive backs didn't have a chance. McWright, 5'10", didn't have a chance. The way Waddle went up and brought that one down. That's just great receivership play there. He went up, concentrated all the way, timed his jump up. 112 yards. Happy time on the sideline. And the first one to congratulate Osgood was Pavlos between the quarters. He went down the sideline. Pavlos was the first one there to congratulate Osgood on a well-timed pass.
Waddle is a senior from Columbus, Texas, located about 70 miles west of Houston. I-10, here's the first and goal, and Osgood gets it maybe a yard closer. Second and goal from the 4. Osgood was a transfer from Ole Miss, where he was a starter.
Looks like they're going to make some of those offensive linemen work and lose those few pounds tonight. They get that number 1 offensive line still in there. And right about now, they're probably sucking a little wind down in that field.
Fourth quarter just underway. We've played about 30 seconds. It's second and goal for the Ags. Lewis is dotting the I. And he's got the pitch, and he's going to lose a yard or two. Robert McWright, the cornerback on the right side, coming through to make the stop. It'll be third and goal from the 6.
I would think that TCU really anticipated the option here. Watch the pitcher as he goes down. Watch him throw this ball almost down. His knee was almost down. And, of course, McWright played it well outside there. He was just waiting for the pitch man, and Lewis didn't have a chance on that play. How about that? Lane Talbert's the first Aggie kicker to make 3 field goals in one game since Scott Slater in 1987.
Well, Slater was a good one.
Yep.
Oh, he's got time, and Osgood will take it to the 1. Boy, he had a lot of time, but he couldn't find a receiver. He had a man in front of him open, you may have seen, but if you weren't watching the number, that was a lineman. He couldn't throw it to him.
Well, shall we go for the 4th and maybe look up some other records on the 4th?
Well, you know, it's one of these deals that, you know, you talk about score and everything. You don't really kick a field goal here. You're ahead 30-0.
Right. Tough decision from a coach's standpoint to our friends.
Yeah.
You know, if you kick the field goal, it looks like you're rubbing in. If you go for it, it looks like you're trying to pour points on. So you're almost in a no-win situation coaching-wise.
Well, the ball is on the 1. It's 4th and goal from the 1. Wilson and Lewis the backs. Lewis, touchdown, Texas A&M. 3 touchdowns for Lewis. The Aggies up to 36 points. And rolling to an easy victory.
Yeah, I don't think anyone anticipated it being this kind of a game this evening.
Now, the Aggies were favored in the game, but by less than 2 touchdowns. And there's the extra point. It's perfect, and that makes it 37 for Texas A&M, 30 for TCU. 12 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the ball game at Amon Carter Stadium.
You've seen the rest. Now get the best. It's TV's greatest sports bloopers. 60 minutes of the wildest, wackiest, funniest super bloopers ever recorded on one video cassette. From football fumbles to basketball fumbles, it's the sports blooper video everyone's been waiting for. Whether it's on the green or over the net or into the drink, you'll enjoy plenty of non-stop, gut-busting, bone-jarring blooper action. From the majors to the minors and around the world, you'll be amazed at the outrageous antics of some of your favorite sports and Hollywood movie stars. Get ready for hit after hit of the most bizarre bloopers and sports foul-ups you'd ever expect to see. Use your credit card now and get a pair of sports sunglasses free. This offer not available in stores. So for 60 minutes of the funniest selection of breathtaking, rib-tickling sports bloopers ever, use your credit card and order TV's greatest sports bloopers today. Call now, 1-800-554-3535 for TV's greatest sports bloopers for $19.95 plus shipping and handling. Use your credit card now and get a pair of Sunblocker sports sunglasses free. Call now, 1-800-554-3535 to get both the blooper video and free sunglasses. It's hilarious.
The only way to go is up. Aim high. Air Force.
HSE's football schedule is packed this fall. Over the next few weeks, you'll see many outstanding games from around the nation. Our next Southwest Conference telecast comes your way Saturday, October 7th at 10:30 delayed as the Baylor Bears travel to the Astrodome to face the Houston Cougars. And that, on paper, would seem to be an interesting tussle. And we'll certainly see on October 7th.
A tussle, huh?
At least. Brad Gable, the record-setting quarterback for Baylor, against the record-setting offense for Houston. That won't be returned. You know, one player we have not mentioned tonight, and we got to mention him, not that he was going to make a 37-point difference, but he makes a difference. Tony Darthard has not been able to play for TCU. He underwent knee surgery less than a week ago, and arthroscopic surgery. He will not be out for the year. They expect him back in 2 or 3 weeks, but he's an outstanding running back, and TCU's going to miss him.
Yeah, he is a good player. You're absolutely correct.
63-yard drive. That's the Aggies' longest. But it also started on a fumble. They've got 1 field goal and 4 touchdowns following turnovers. Not much there. Corey Ford with the carry. And Lewis with the tackle. Some of the fans making their way out of the area. 12 minutes and 34 seconds left.
Well, the Aggies are going to be penalized. They had 12 men on the field that play.
The famous 12th man, huh?
They really didn't need 12. I mean, they've been doing pretty good with 11, but I think he's trying to get some substitutes in there, and maybe one of those players who hadn't played much wanted to get in the game. Can't blame him for that, can you?
No. He can always lay claim to being one of the Aggies' famous 12th men.
That face kind of tells it all, doesn't it?
That's on the TCU sideline. Moving the ball all the way up to the 35.
Next 12 minutes and 34 seconds will not be a fun time on that TCU sideline.
For the Aggies, what depth they have been able to bring, and of course you don't have as many people suited up on a road game as you do on a home game, so what depth they have been able to bring, we'll see action. Giles drops back again. Intercepted. Derek Frazier, a redshirt freshman from Sugarland Clemens High School, makes the interception. And turns it back over. That is number 7.
Old Derek was an all-district quarterback when he played high school football down there in Clemens. Sitting back there in his own coverage now, just looking for things like this to happen. He reads it well, steps up, right into his hands. Actually, the ball was underthrown. If it been over his head, well, it might have been a completion.
Well, let's spot and see who the Aggies have in. Now, again, they've scored a great deal because of turnovers after turnovers. The 3 touchdowns today is Osgood drops back to throw and leaves it short. The 3 touchdowns tonight by Lewis, a career high for one game. He hasn't had a lot of rushing yards, 46, 45, but he does have the 3 touchdowns.
Well, he does have Greg Cook in there, one of the offensive linemen now. This is a tough situation from RC's standpoint because it's only the 3rd game of the year and it's early in the season, and you really want to get your team playing together and getting the timing on many things. And offensive line-wise, there is a penalty on the flag. A flag is down.
This is a statistic that has really had a bearing on the game.
They had delay of the game. Evidently, they had extra men on the field that time again.
When you've only got to go 50 yards and you cut that 100-yard field in half, you're going to be able to score a little bit.
Aggies were penalized again for having that 12th men on the field.
Well, it's a tradition at A&M.
Well, maybe some of the band members are trying to slip out there. 7 turnovers.
Yep, to none. I think the none is also a significant factor. They have given TCU nothing, and TCU has not been able to take anything, so the scoreboard is 37-0.
Osgood with McAfee, but they maybe didn't beat the clock. Now what's wrong? Well, if they score on this drive, it's going to be the longest of the night. Illegal motion. It's still first down.
Well, they've got some folks in there that haven't been playing and anxious to move and get going, and timing a little bit different from the quarterback standpoint.
Another fellow tonight, Ed, that's had a career high is Percy Waddle. 5 catches, 112 yards, longest 47. 112 yards for number 81. Well, it is 1st and 30.
Middle screen.
Oh, boy. Hello, Shane Garrett. Garrett was met by Crump just as he caught the ball.
Crump read this screen. They've run this a couple of times. I was going to catch it this time and go back to the outside, but Crump read it from the free safety position. It just came up there and timed it up well. Good player. 6'3", 210-pound junior.
Pretty heavy safety to be banging you that hard. It is 2nd down and now 33. And it's complete at midfield. Crump, or rather Garrett this time, tackled by Crump after a big gain. They're still a ways from a first down.
They did a great job of reading that zone coverage, and Garrett just moved inside, split the linebackers underneath the secondary, and Osgood delivered it.
They got 17 yards on the pass play, and it's 3rd down and 16.
Depends on the spot.
Oliver says he got it. He puts the ball down about a yard in front of where they're going to put it. It's close, though. And it's the same situation as before. Don't really kick a field goal here. It is going to be short of the first down.
Well, you've got to go. You have to go for it on first down. And again, this is right down the middle. Osgood's got an arm. He can drill that ball. And actually, it looks like he caught the ball a little bit farther down where they made the final spot.
Well, the mistake he made was, I think, he placed it back too far. And, of course, they're going to move it back. They're not going to let you do that. And they moved it back maybe too far.
Anyway, it's 4th down.
And now they want a timeout. Aggies called a timeout as he was racing off to the sideline. Shane Garrett heard the word from the bench, and so he signaled for time.
Bob Polito wants to make something straightened out.
10 minutes and 1 second to play in a ball game, and the Aggies have led all the way. And it's 37-0 right now.
He sees he's got him where he wants him.
Oh, left hand. A right to the body. Oh, another left. Blood is coming out of the mouth of the challenger.
Oh, he just got him coming back.
To the right hand. He is down and out.
Mike English down. There's a right hand, and English goes down again. It's over.
What's keeping Chavarria up? He's in trouble. Pips has him in trouble. They need to stop this one. He is out on the ropes. It is. And the winner for the TKO.
We have been fascinated from the beginning. As a machine, the human body remains a supreme invention. To unlock its potential, we offer Soloflex. Simple and efficient, like the body itself. Which may explain why Soloflex looks less like a machine and more like a work of art.
Nothing right now. And 5.
Well, now technically, that end could move. He could reset himself. The end could move.
They moved it back 5, so now it's 4th and 5.
They gave them the penalty, but again, now they're going to punt. RC's unhappy with that kind of mistake. See? Grabbing him saying, and he's telling him in nice, kind words that you won't make 5 yards all year. Look what you did to us. Not really. Not really. but you really got to get their attention when they make, that's just a mental mistake, and you hate to see that happen.
Shane Crawl will remember that. Sean Wilson's punt goes into the end zone, and it'll come back out to the 20-yard line. And there's a flag. We got a wrestling match back at the 35 between a couple of players, now more than a couple, so the flag is thrown.
Well, the A&M coaches did a good job of making sure their guys didn't come back, and a little frustration going on. That's all that is when you're behind 37-0 in the fourth quarter. You have a tendency to get frustrated. I doubt where this call will be either way.
One of them famous offsetting.
Yeah, right. But that's just a little frustrating.
Well, we'll find out. Floyd Dale, the referee, will make a call. Look at this. 42,960, the 5th largest crowd ever at Amon Carter Stadium. It is a 46,000 capacity stadium, and we're that close to full.
Well, the Aggies have brought a lot of folks with them. They follow their team. Look at the size of that. Well, that's a nice
Fred
pack.
Washington.
It's really not that big. That's a nice. Don't get excited. That's a nice pack. They're right on the outside of that.
That's Freddie Washington.
Keep the swelling from coming out too bad. That makes it look like he's got a real ankle there.
Freddie played a strong game, but it wasn't strong enough because his team was really having to defend their backyard the whole game. They were backed up to their own goal line.
He played well, though. He played well.
First down. Ball finally spotted at the 20.
Reverse.
Hey, little whoopsie-dipsy.
He can go all the way on this one. This one can go all the way.
Toby Morey, and Morey may just 80 yards if he does. Nope, going to be put down at about the 28-yard line. Toby Morey, who is actually a wide receiver, a sophomore transfer, sat out last year from Red Oak, Texas. Moved the ball all the way down inside Aggie territory to about the 27.
There it is. You see him come down the line, makes a little pitch behind him, ladder behind him to him. Now he's got great running room out there. That lineman out of his way and said, get on down there and get somebody. He's going to outrun him. And look at this point, he's going to go all the way. But I'll tell you, some defensive backs come across the field for A&M showed their speed right there to cut him off at the pass.
53 yards for Morey. And he suddenly becomes the top rusher in the game by a huge margin for TCU, but leaving the game.
Yeah, this ankle happened when he collided with another A&M player. Take a look at number 8, Bradbury, right here. Watch where he'd slide right here. He's going to get around here. And now watch him collide with number 3. And that's where he gets his ankle. They twist their feet up right there. Look at that. He got his ankle twisted up right there and got him off stride.
Ran into Derek Frazier. First down play. And the tight end, Blackwell, makes the catch and is brought down at about the 13-yard line. Blackwell really, because of his skill at catching the football, pretty much forced Ben Griffith, the offensive coordinator, to include the tight end as part of this triple shoot. Normally with an offense of this nature, you don't have a tight end as such. Now, Blackwell admittedly is more of a pass catcher, but they do use a tight end formation more than perhaps Griffith originally had planned when he tried to put this together. It's first down. Uh-oh, there's another one. The ball is saved, however. Wow, I'll tell you, they're just having a lot of trouble. Corey Ford fell on it.
A&M got some secondary people in there. Derek Ritchie is in there, number 22. Playing some different folks and giving them a chance to have some opportunities to show up.
Palmer checks in.
Jeff Shanks is in there, defensive lineman. Eric Moore, defensive back, is in there. Frazier's in there, number 3.
Stephen Shipley is wide left.
Giles is -9 on 16. Oh, he just got rid of that because he got in-your-face defense by Trent Lewis. He really blasted through on Giles. He just had to unload, hoping that someone would be in the corner of the end zone.
He's from Huntsville. Looks like they just let him out of prison the way he came up through there. Freshman red shirt. Look at him come up through there. Boom!
Giles saw him coming, too.
6'3", 236 pounds. How'd you like to have that hitting you in the face as a quarterback?
He just heaved it to the end zone corner, hoping that the receiver could get to wherever the ball was going to land, and that was not possible. There is the big fella, Lewis, who made that move. It is now 3rd and about 14. Giles again lost it to the end zone, and intercepted in the end zone by Derek Frazier with one hand.
Wow, what a great play.
That's 3 interceptions Giles has tossed, but I'll tell you, credit the great play by Frazier on this one.
You'll never see a better interception than this one. One hand in the end zone. Look at this. One hand, tips it, watches it all the way in. Great job by Frazier. Again, watch this. Watch the one hand. Great camera work by our people. Look at this. Right on the fingertips. Juggles it, stay concentrate, brings it in as he falls down. Derek Frazier. What a play.
He was a red shirt last year.
As I said earlier, he was a quarterback at Clemens in high school, which shows you what kind of athletes they have. I mean, all these schools, they put that usually that best athlete at quarterback. He smiles about that one. You deserve to smile.
Well, Derek closes out what was TCU's best shot at getting on the scoreboard. 8 minutes and 8 seconds to play, 37-0, Texas A&M.
And another turnover. They had more turnovers than a baker shop here tonight.
Write that one down. That's 8. But the 8-0, the nothing part, the comparison is what, to me, is incredible because the Aggies have thrown the ball a lot, and they've not turned it over. McAfee with short yardage up to about the 22. Couple-yard gain.
Well, the Aggies just want to keep that clock running now and get out of here without getting any more injuries.
They've passed for 16 for 23 as a team, Pavlos and Osgood, for 255 yards. Running attack hasn't been as potent, but it's mixed in well. 2nd down and 8. McAfee with very close to the 1st down. Depends on where the knee went down. Ivory Christian, the
should be a 1st down if it touches the line. Yes, 1st down.
Ivory Christian, who made the tackle, number 93, is not even 19 years old yet. Very young freshman from Odessa Permian. 1st down. Clock running, 7:14 to play. And again, only about a yard gain.
Doug Carter in there on that play, I believe. They got a lot of 2nd or 3rd people in there for the Aggies right now.
Carter's the man who made the carry. 2nd down.
Gary Vincent's in there as a wide receiver, number 19. Number 13, Brian Edwards.
Carter's a sophomore from Dallas, number 32. Yeah, that one didn't work. McAfee had no room, and it'll be 3rd down and more than 10 now.
Keith Alex, a big sophomore offensive lineman from Beaumont Central, 6'6", 305-pounder.
McAfee's pretty big, 209 for a quick runner. It is 3rd down and 11. Nearing the 6-minute mark. Aggies want to be able to control the ball by grinding it out on the ground, but they're not going to be able to get a 1st down without a pass. It's tipped and incomplete. 4th down. The Aggies will kick it away. Right now, TCU is just trying to salvage something. They've 4 out of 16 on 3rd down conversions, but again, it hasn't been important for the Aggies because they've been so close.
Well, TCU has had 16 possessions. This will be their 17th, Greg. And 8 of them they've turned the ball over to the Aggies. And that's just, you just can't play winning football when you do that. And
Jim Wacker will be very concerned about that stat. Robert McWright, the ball still loose, and finally down at about the 2-yard line. Boy, McWright took that one with his midsection. He really got through. Well, you got to figure the odds are pretty good at TCU at least salvaging the embarrassment of being shut out now. They've got the ball first and goal inside the 3. The first A&M turnover. Just come from the outside. Well, that ball bounces around. They all want to pick it up. Right wants to pick it up because he knows if he picks it up, he can get in there for a touchdown. Keeps rolling around. Took a little bit longer to get this one off. A little slow snap. Now he takes a 1. They 2. And there he is. There comes right across it. Good block. Laid out. Just the way the coach is teaching. You go not where he starts from, but where he's going to punt the ball from. He laid out right across that foot. And, of course, they went back to Kevin Ellis punting. Ellis had not punted the last 2 or 3 times. But he and Sean Wilson have shared the job tonight. Well, TCU just trying to salvage some points here. And there's the Mr. Punt Block himself. He played his high school ball with Dallas Roosevelt. Giles is the quarterback. He's got a power wishbone formation. Giles keeps it. Touchdown, TCU. Well, we finally got that 0 off those turnovers for the Aggies. Well, they've told us officially they don't credit that as 1. The block kick is in its own category. It does the same thing. I'll guarantee you every coach in the country counts as a turnover. Well, it does the same thing, doesn't it, Ed? Right. The statisticians might not, but every coach, high school, college, and pro counts it as a big turnover. Well, the extra point is good, and it is 37-7. A&M leading TCU with 5:36 to play here at Amon Carter Stadium. Well, you'd have to say that the goal of the Southwest Conference football teams, including the Aggies, who are off to a good start tonight, each year is to get to the Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic, which symbolizes the Southwest Conference Championship. Through the years have been some great games. In 1965, for example, Frank Broyles' Razorbacks defeated Nebraska 10-7, and the Razorbacks then finished number 2 in the country. Well, each week, HSE presents Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic highlights Wednesday nights at 10:30, plus Saturday mornings at 10:30. Wednesday night show is going to look back at the 1965 game, the one between Arkansas and Nebraska. That's Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic highlights twice each week on HSE. And, of course, the shows not only have the highlights of the game, but also the pageantry as well. 8 turnovers for TCU tonight is the most in the Jim Wacker era. RC is a little bit unhappy about that punt block. There's just something about having punt block that upsets coaches. Well, and that's the thing we talk about. You know, fans are saying, well, this game's over. It's just like in basketball, the so-called garbage time. Coaches do not acknowledge that such a thing exists. Well, no. And really, that's what we are in the equivalent of somewhat here in this game. But coaches cannot acknowledge that exists, even though there is a psychological letdown. Well, and even though he had his, most of his backup second players in their defensively, he wanted them to do well in that goal line stand. He's unhappy with the fact that they scored so easily. He's also unhappy with his special teams to get a punt block, because that invites your next opponent to do the same thing. All set for the kickoff. Philip Keeler will actually kick off this time, number 5, as he's getting set to put it down to, well, Darren Lewis is one of the return men, but he's not going to take it.
Horton will to the 30, 33, 34-yard line. Larry Horton. Horton had a 92-yard opening kickoff return versus LSU to start the season. This one not quite so long. He had 5 kickoff returns for 103 yards versus Washington. Not much tonight because they haven't had to return many kicks. Aggie fans want to know about this Texas A&M call-in show with R.C. Slocum. Well, it's going to be a happy Sunday night this week, 9 o'clock. Your opportunity to talk with the Aggies head coach every week live tomorrow night at 9 o'clock right here on HSC. Well, that was the best run of the night for Keith McAfee.
They got a new quarterback in there. Kent Petty is in there at the quarterback now.
Tell you a little bit about Petty. He is a 6'3", 208-pound redshirt freshman from Dallas. You know, RC's aware of where some of these guys are from. He's getting them in the game, the ones that might not ordinarily see much action. McAfee makes the turn. He's got 23 yards now. Number 2 ball carrier tonight. Well, he just lost some. Slippery turf.
No, he slipped before. Now, I'll tell you one thing. I guarantee he's got tape around those shoes. You can see the tape from up here. And when you wrap tape around the bottom of your shoes like that, it eliminates the little bit of cleats that you have on them. All of them play with those rubber cleats on the AstroTurf. But now he has given himself extra ankle support by having that tape wrapped around that shoe. And one of the reasons he's slipping is because of that.
Second down, 15. Yeah, it doesn't leave much space on the bottom for gripping. Here's Brian Ross. And there goes Brian Ross to the 31-yard line. Larry Brown wraps him up. Ross, the senior from San Angelo Central, the tight end, rambles on the catch.
Well, we talked about that, and again, I guarantee you the coaches talk about that tape. This is a good play here. Petty goes back to looking downfield. And you say, why he's throwing? Well, this guy wants to throw the ball, too. You want to give him the opportunity to see what he can do. Good catch. Now he turns it upfield. It shows a little speed, Ross does.
That was a good play, 27 yards for Petty. McAfee had a nice hole at the line of scrimmage, but it was covered up by the defensive backs and linebackers, and so he didn't get too much extra. Richard Booker, the linebacker, was the first man to hit him.
Let's talk about that tape, Greg, on those shoes. Now, a lot of times, players will do that on their own. The trainer doesn't know that they do. They don't particularly want them to do that because they know that that's what will happen to those shoes, that they'll slip with them because there's no traction there.
Second down, 6. Doug Carter gets down to about the 18-yard line on a nice spin move.
Well, Greg Lakin in there, an offensive lineman, doing a good job.
Carter, another Dallas player, so he's up in the Metroplex, putting on a little bit of show, getting some playing time.
Jason Rockhold, number 59 in there. Number 63, Wally Hartley. Well, the other thing about that is you're giving some experience to these folks that might have to play if one of your regulars gets injured later on in the season.
Carter in motion. McAfee to the 10. Out of bounds at about the 4-yard line. And it is a first down. Jason Cauble drove him out. You know, we can go a little bit more on that point you made, Ed, because the really good teams, the powerhouses, as we take a look at the play, they're able to do that. They're able to play a lot of people.
Well, and that keeps fresh people in there, and then when someone gets hurt later in the season, you got someone who's not inexperienced, and they accumulate it. You know, these are underclassmen. You're talking about freshmen and sophomores they're playing now. That's just great experience for next year when they have to step in there.
First and goal from the 4. Carter to the 1. It also is why with some of these real strong teams that are winning big margins every week, you look at the number of returning starters, and it may say they don't have many, but that's misleading because the guys that play behind them got a lot of playing time.
That's exactly right.
It is second and goal from the 1. Well, let's see. Carter, McAfee, Petty. Fumble. Petty has to pick it up and try to salvage it. 3rd and goal. We have had more mishandled snaps tonight.
Yeah, you don't expect this to be regulars. You kind of expect it a little bit with these kind of folks that haven't had much chance to play, and they're anxious and maybe haven't taken that many snaps in practice with the center that might be in there.
Less than 2 minutes. Sweep right. McAfee doesn't make it. 4th down and goal. Stacked up by that interior defense. Linebacker Richard Booker putting some extra pressure in. Ivory Christian. Yeah, this would be a morale boost if TCU could keep the Aggies out of the goal area here. Let's see. It's 4th and goal. McAfee, touchdown A&M. .38 yards for McAfee and a touchdown. So out of that same position, the tailback slot, Lewis and McAfee have shared it tonight.
There's a good shot at it.
They've had over 80 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns.
Starts inside and takes it. A little bit of a cutback there, takes it in, and there's RC on the sideline. Well, you're that far ahead, doesn't get too excited about it.
It is 44-7, Texas A&M, with 1 minute and 6 seconds remaining. See if we can go back.
See how long it's been since they've had that kind of points on the scoreboard against them?
Well, last year, of course, last year.
18-0 last year was.
Last year, I was looking more on the other side. The last time the Aggies scored huge, and they scored huge a couple of times last year. 56 against Louisiana Tech and 50 against Texas Tech. It was a nice, long drive, one of the longer drives.
He shot at Jim Wacker on the sideline, and in his heart and mind, he knows he's got a tough job facing him the early part of next week, getting his team. But he does a good job with that. He'll bring them back, and they'll be ready to play against Southern Mississippi. Very optimistic, very upbeat. Knows he's got a lot of young players playing. And they are playing a little bit of a disadvantage, whether people realize it or not. They've only got 74 scholarships right now because of some of their earlier problems that they're still suffering from. Most of the other schools have 95.
That was a 10-play drive, 67 yards, took 5.5 minutes. McAfee capping it with a 1-yard run, 44-7 with 1:06. They'll let that one go through the end zone where TCU will come out and put the ball in play with 1:06 to go. Trailing 44-7. Yeah, we're trying to see. Last year, of course, the game was a shutout, but it was 18-0. Clay is back in at quarterback for TCU. TCU has actually been pretty good in home openers. Not tonight. Boy, they're fighting for that one, and it's intercepted. Steve Lofton to the 35-yard line. Whoa. That was a real wrestling match for the ball, and Lofton came out with it.
Another interception, another turnover.
9. Now let's take a look at the interception as he had to fight off Todd Holmes.
A little bit of contact down here by the defensive back into him, but he did a good job of going up and taking away. Did a pretty good job of running this ball back.
17-yard return by Lofton, and it's first down.
Old Steve up from Alto, junior.
McAfee cannot turn the corner as he's banged out of bounds.
No, I don't think he can cut.
Not with the shoes he's wearing.
No,
he's got to get a...
His mother will listen to this telecast, and he'll say that guy on the analyst was all over you about your shoes.
Got too much tape on him.
He'll say, maybe he was right, Mom. I'll check it out.
44-7. At least let the cleats poke through. Second down. Nice effort. You know, Carter's been impressive in the small action that he's seen. Well, now the walking wounded.
Yeah, that was on that reverse play.
Bradbury.
At that angle where he was coming across on the reverse play and got tangled up with Frazier. And they may be doing a precautionary thing. They're keeping his weight off of it. And put that ice on top of it, and they're going to let the time run out. That was the last play of the game. There's Washington, of course, going down the sideline. And when you lose, those injuries are a lot tougher.
It's over. The final score, Texas A&M 44, TCU 7.
If somebody is having an off night, take charge. We lose too many lives when fans drink and drive. So have your friend pass the keys. It's the biggest assist he can make.
Foul Play Productions presents the ABCs of retriever training with professional trainer Mike Penn. Now you can train your dog like a pro and master the techniques of sit, heel, stay, and come. These videotapes are a must for all dog owners. The ABCs of retriever training teaches you the right way to choose and train a puppy the way professionals do. Never before secrets of training are revealed. Learn the right way to train a dog. Part 1 shows you the easy way to choose and housebreak a puppy, general obedience, retrieving, introducing your dog to water, steadying to a shot, plus much more. Part 2, the finished dog, completes the training process and is for those interested in training a first-rate hunting and retrieving dog and includes double and triple retrieves, stopping on a whistle, as well as handling, blind retrieves, and lining. The prestigious United Kennel Club review of the training tape states, Mike Penn clearly illustrates the ideas he's conveying. Everything the viewer will need to teach a good young prospective retriever is thoroughly covered in this tape. Field and Stream editor Bob Brister writes, Mike has produced the absolute best retriever training videotapes yet and has helped hundreds of individuals, including me. Each tape is over 80 minutes long and is jam-packed with little-known secrets of the trade. Through this special television offer, these tapes, originally nationally priced at $49.95 each, are offered at less than original price. Order both tapes and receive this trainer's kit, a $15 value, absolutely free. Here's how to order. Credit card customers call 1-800-624-4860, extension 30, or send $29.95 plus $3 postage and handling for each tape ordered to Foul Play Productions, 5800 Corporate Drive, Suite C6, Houston, Texas. Call now, 1-800-624-4860, extension 30. Order both tapes and receive the $15 trainer's kit absolutely free. That's 1-800-624-4860, extension 30. Call now. Texas residents add sales tax.
Greg Lucas back along with Ed Biles. It's a one-sided win for the Aggies tonight, 44-7 over TCU. It was uncharacteristic for TCU home openers because they had won 34, lost 11, and tied 5 in home openers in history, but they have not had to play too many teams as potent as Texas A&M was tonight, thanks in large measure to the impotence, I guess you'd have to say, of TCU, particularly with taking care of the football. They turned it over 9 times.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. That's the storyline. 9 turnovers. You just don't win many games that way. And they had won 8 straight home openers, but they played a little different caliber football team. I think A&M a little smarting from that loss last week. RC and his group wanting to prove that they're ready for a Southwest Conference play. Long night for TCU. I think it's kind of one of those games that the coaches are going to say to themselves, A&M will say, we're not as good as we look tonight, and I don't think TCU is as bad as they look tonight when everything is all wrapped up, Greg.
Well, A&M has to be happy with their defensive effort, and their offense was good enough. It got the job done when they needed points, and they got the ball in good field position. They were able to push it in. 44-7, the final. The Aggies over TCU.
The great games. The games to remember. 1957. Notre Dame's Fighting Irish snap Oklahoma's 47-game winning streak. And the Sporting News was there. The Sporting News, where great things happen every week. Don't let them happen without you.
Call 1-800-592-8900 and get 29 issues of the Sporting News for 4 payments of just $4.99. You'll save 69% off the cover price, 40% off the regular subscription rate. Call now 1-800-592-8900.
Greyhound Track Beat, the sport's first and only national highlights television show, brings greyhound racing into your own living room. Every month on the Track Beat, you'll see exciting stakes races from the best tracks in the country. Our Track Beat Spotlight includes farm features, kennel features, trainer features, and racing rule features. We'll show you some of the sport's history-making events with our racing flashback and answer the most commonly asked questions regarding greyhound racing. Stay tuned to HSC for the Greyhound Track Beat.
The executive producer of Home Sports Entertainment is Jack Stanfield. Senior producer and director of tonight's game, Robert Steinfeld. Technical director, Van Williams. Engineer in charge, Gary Mosley. And associate producer, Kurt Dykert. Our statisticians were Jay Ryan and Ken Conlon, with our spotter, Tom Baker. Remote facilities provided by Home Sports Entertainment. Now, this is Greg Lucas for Ed Biles saying so long from Amon G. Carter Stadium in Fort Worth, Texas. Our next Southwest Conference telecast will be coming your way Saturday, October 7th at 10:30 as the Houston Cougars host the Baylor Bears. Once again, the final score of tonight's game, Texas A&M 44, TCU 7. This has been an exclusive presentation of Home Sports Entertainment.